T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
LadyChann! Fight!
Yo, hey girl, it's LadyChann rep nonetheless, and welcome to, we are doing our weekly wrap-up show today instead of tomorrow to celebrate the undisputed lightweight champion of the world in this 4-belt era. Let me just get this. Hope you guys are having a good Sunday. Let me just get this banner. You know me. Got to get the banners going. Devin Haney becomes truly undisputed. Okay, I'm reloaded. How was your Sunday? Because mine feels like it's only just started and it's already nighttime because I didn't go to bed until 10 a.m. After the fights and a couple phone calls I had to sort out. Devin Haney becomes because I've had these fanboys already, and it's quite sad that we're going to get into it, that people don't really want to give Devin Haney his props because I've had like a couple Teofimo Lopites, Lopezites, Teofimo Lopezites, yeah, not the Lomites. She said, and telling me, can you believe, right, they was rooting for George Kambosos because it makes them feel better that George Kambosos beat their guy. So that guy has to be better than Devin Haney. So they rooted, this crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. Even though these guys are American, like Devin Haney, but they rooted for the Australian guy, which was, I found that quite strange. I mean, you don't have to root for where your countryman's from, but I mean, I've seen some Americans go all out there that they was just, George Kambosos is deluded. We're going to top that up. He's deluded. I had to tell my mate, like, it's sickening. I couldn't even continue the conversation because I find it embarrassing, you know, that grown men can just go that above and beyond just for, you know, that's cap. Okay, let's see what's going on. All right, so there it is. Social media handles at LadyChann, Twitter and Instagram. TikTok, Reddit, whatever you want to find me on, but I use Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Cash App, # LadyChann. Thank you very much. And Cash App, # LadyChann. Thank you very much. How did that go like that? And Cash App, # LadyChann. Thank you very much. Interesting. I played myself back. Okay, cool. So let me put the link in the chat because we are going to chop it up. I will pin it as well because I hate sometimes having to keep reposting it. I ain't even got no lip gloss on. Let me sort out my life. Sort out your life, girl. Yeah, the lip gloss is not in the building. Let me get it in the building. Okay, so that's that pinned. Oh, this Facebook shit gets on my nerves. That's that pinned. Pinned. I won't go bright on you lot today. It's Sunday. I'm not in the mood. Tomorrow. No, I'm not on tomorrow. Wednesday. Oh, we're gonna have. I don't know if you saw. We're gonna have us. David Morrell. He will be in the building. He will definitely be in the building. I spoke to him on my live yesterday on Facebook, on FaceTime. Shouts out to my Uncle Coach Ronnie Shields. Spoke to them both, and yeah, Uncle Ronnie will be. See, David Morrell lives, I think, Midwest, and goes up and stays sometimes in Houston to train, obviously with Uncle Ron, but he goes back and forth. So Uncle Ronnie will be on the show on Wednesday, guys. Yes, you know we love our Uncle Ronnie. I do. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for his accomplishments in the building. So, okay. So I'm introducing. Oh no, sorry. Let me shout out people. Coupler. Ben Adams is in the building. What up, Ben? Lisa Bell's in the building. Yeah. It's I can see in chat, but where are you, Josh? You was in the building. I was telling people on Twitter, Devin will make it look easier than it was. Let me just round of applause to you guys. Come in. Let's get out. Anyway, introducing. Introducing my co-host, Ken. What up, Ken?
How have you been? It's you know what? It's been a monumental weekend of sport, the Queen's Jubilee. I just want to say, I'm not a royalist as such, but I'm glad that everyone's having a good time. I'm sure that there's a few people in this country who are very upset at the fact that everyone's getting on. That the alleged pro royalists are probably upset by the fact that that all members of the Commonwealth are getting involved, i.e. people from all backgrounds, not just traditional backgrounds. So if they're upset, then I'm very, very happy by it because everyone's having a good time. And the BBC's done a great job. And all these anti-BBC losers, right-wingers, tough luck. Because guess what? Everyone's enjoying. Everyone around the world's having a great time. If you're going to just make practice yourself because you don't like the integration in this country, well, that's your problem, not mine.
Yeah, problem. Yeah. All right, we're gonna bring on some others. I'm introducing. Queen Lisa Bell's in the building. Electro Jed in the building. AJ Aljo in the building. Kaboom!
Yo.
Hello,
everybody. Hey,
What's up,
guys. I had to change my photo for the occasion. Chan, can you blow that up?
Blow. Yeah, there you are. Let me just have a look. Hey, sister, go, sister.
Actually, to tell you the truth, that's the exact same photo I'm using for Aftermath today. Good
Everyone's
photo.
using it. Everyone's using it. That photo actually, because it's a great fucking photo. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great photo. Yeah.
Let me. So, Ken, let's kick off with yourself, sir. Did you watch the Devin Haney fight?
Of course I did. I stayed up for it. I set the alarm up. I stayed. Everything about it I liked. I liked the fact that the stadium was packed. I liked the fact that they needed 2 ring announcements for Devin Haney. Kept him waiting. We all thought that he was coming out, and then Michael Buffer had to call him out again, and he came out to the same music. So I loved everything about that. I loved
I didn't
everything
see
about that. He came out twice. I loved the support that Kambosos got. But you know what Devin Haney did better than anything that I expected? He silenced the crowd. He silenced the Australian crowd. They were completely quiet for the first six to seven rounds. They were mesmerised by the fact that he just, it was a masterclass of the fact that he didn't, despite what Kambosos says, he didn't run away. He actually went to the centre of the ring, jabbed your head off, caught you with the occasional right hand, and basically used beautiful feet and reduced you to getting single shots, which didn't land cleanly. I think what Kambosos had to put up with that he didn't put up with when he fought Lopez is that Lopez was emotional. He got into Lopez's head, didn't get into Haney's, and he knew, and he kind of knew that during the matchups beforehand, and it just shows you that Kambosos is a good fighter, but Devin Haney is levels above a good fighter, and it showed in the ring at all levels.
It did, didn't it? It did. What did you think about the gameplay? Tell me the pros and cons of each fight of what you saw, Ken. I'm just doing a little.
Well, in terms of Devin Haney's game plan was perfect because what he did is that he used his jab, and I think that was the kind of the signature shot throughout the whole fight, and it was spiteful jab. There were times when it was basically felt like he was being Kambosos was going to being hit with a right hand. Because it was just when I saw it going into his face, I was going, no, ouch. I felt for him. I really felt for him. It was a horrible, spiteful jab. Sometimes it was sharp, but sometimes it was like a hammer into that poor man's face. Shots as well, the movement as well. And even in the later rounds, when you would have thought that Kambosos came back into him, he actually stunned him and silenced him with a horrible right hand. It made so.
Oh, you're getting a bit funny. Are you breaking up or is it me? Because I think you've broken up.
I can't hear him either.
You've broken up, Ken.
He's frozen. He's frozen.
Oh, you frozen? Let me have a look. Sorry,
he's not moving.
All right, Ken, come out and come back in. Come out and come back in. Hang on. This has even gone a bit. All right. Let me remove Ken. And then he'll have to come back in. Hang on. Ken, come back in. You'll have to come out and come back in. Okay, so whilst Kenny is doing that, AJ, talk to me. Fight yesterday.
First and foremost, I just want to start by saying, Chan, how are you?
No.
You look you look lovely.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. You make me blush every single time when we're on it, don't you?
All right, Ken is back. Yeah, Ken is back. Let him finish. So.
Yeah, Kenny's back in the build. Kenny, you back? Did I put you back on? Yeah, you are.
No,
Go ahead, Kenny.
Firstly, I'm gonna have words with Sky, who provided me my internet, because that's
ads.
Like I got to deal with them where whenever I do podcasts like this, never ever play up. I pay you good money for you to make sure that you provide me with great service. But as I was saying before, Sky intervened and stopped me in my flow. One thing I would say, it was a masterstroke. It was footwork, movement. When he was getting, and he boxed clever. That whenever Kambosos came in, held on to him, like I said, stopped him from getting any combinations going off. And there were times when he was turning the poor guy around. In terms of Kambosos, he didn't do anything wrong. His game plan was perfect because, he would. I suppose what he was expecting is that, as in the first fight in his fight with Lopez was on the front foot, but Lopez was trying to take his head off and he got emotional. Yeah. Haney was on the front foot, but it was a case of where Haney was basically cutting off the space, but he's using his jab and his movement in order to cramp Kambosos up for room. And then when Kambosos tried to meet the distance, every time he was walking to a jab, so he got him thinking, like wary of the fact that if I come in, I'm going to get tagged. And you just got a feeling with Kambosos, even if he went on the front foot, you would have thought that, Devin Haney would have thought, right, I would have counterpunched him, because I think that's kind of levels that Devin Haney's at the moment, where George isn't. George is a hard-working, good fighter, but you know, heart will get you so far. You know, it'll probably keep you in the fight.
What happened? You again? Sky's not ripping. You
Fight for
better
12
get.
rounds, but
You're cutting up again, Ken.
I know, yeah. But internet's fine though. I'm right next to the box. But all I'm trying to say is that
you went static again.
no,
Go
sorry
ahead.
about that. But what I'm trying to say is heart
Sorry,
doesn't mean skill in boxing. That's all it is.
No.
Heart is heart.
Yeah. All right, here you are. All right, AJ, all day. Go ahead.
Yeah. By the way, I switched up my photo again. How y'all like that when Chanky blowed up?
Hang on. I've got a picture. I'll do it in a minute because I've got something up at the minute. So I'll do it in a minute. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, yeah, man. I as y'all know, I was on the watch along. I saw the fight, and I just want to piggyback right quick off something that Kenny Ken said.
Yeah.
It's like, why is it whenever like somebody gets schooled, embarrassed, humiliated, they say the other guy ran? I just find that funny. You know what I mean? That's the common excuse I'm finding now. It's like Mikey Garcia said it when he got lost to Sandor Martin. And there's been countless other examples like, oh yeah, he ran. Well, no, you just got outboxed, bro. You know what I mean? You got schooled. Yeah. That's what happened. You know, and
because they're haters. That is where you have to say they're haters. They always say it. Anybody else is that they're not runners. They're defensively sound. Any other sorts of other fighters, they ran, and that's what George Kambosos said. But go ahead, AJ.
Yeah. I just like to add, like, I think, like, because I was having I was having a friendly debate with a guy on Twitter, and he was saying Haney's not his cup of tea. He was expecting like Haney to come in and kind of like just go toe to toe. And I'm like, my guy, that's not how he fights. He's a pure boxer. You know what I mean? That's just not him. And I've gotten used to that by now. Like, it's going to take somebody like, you know, probably an aggressive pressure fighter to bring out the fight in Devin. Unless that we see that's just not going to happen.
Right.
Boxing is his bread and butter. He's a pure boxer through and through. He's safety. He's very defensively minded, defensively sound with a great jab. And that's just how he's going to fight. And unless like somebody's going to, and honestly, as everybody's saying how he can't punch, like while I kind of agree with that, it's like his power is respectable enough to where it's able to stop his opponents from coming forward, because we saw how he kept George at bay with the jab.
Right.
He couldn't get close. He couldn't do anything. You know what I mean? And whenever he tried to like, and Devin even stuck in a few, he got in a few sneaky right hands as well. Like when he can get aggressive at times. I think like Devin, if he sees the chance to go for a knockout, he'll do it. I mean, but unless he doesn't get that opportunity, he's just content with boxing, and that's cool. He got the look what he did to his face. Look at that.
This was the guy that said that he thought it was a close fight, and like you know, Devin really didn't hardly touch him or hurt him.
Yeah, look at that. What's that? That's from his jab for the most part.
Yeah. That's what it was. Jabbed off his whole entire face. Jabbed off his whole existence. Go ahead, H.
Yeah, I mean, but like, I just want to pose a question to everybody in the panel. Like, who wants to see a rematch? Because I kind of don't.
No, I don't want to see a rematch.
I mean, like, I think at this point, like, hopefully they move on and just do something else.
What good things did you see? How many rounds did you give Kambosos?
Honestly, first watching, just one. Devin shut him out entirely. I only gave George a round. That's it.
Yeah.
He got shut out. He got schooled. He got dominated.
Yeah. And all right. Lisa, Sister Bell's in the building, and then it'll be Electro Jade. Lisa,
yeah.
The fight, we watched it. What did you take from it? What was your whole?
I was really impressed with his performance. I'm happy for Devin. You know, because this has been a long journey for him, and he finally cleared that up with the franchise thing. So now we have a real undisputed champ at 135.
Yeah.
And that was like a major thing. And I agree with AJ. You know, Devin is a pure boxer. He's not a power puncher or any of that. He uses his jab very well. You know, he's just not that type of fighter. He is safety first, defensive, uses his legs, but lately he's been standing toe to toe with people. since the
Yeah.
Linares fight. So, so he stood in the middle of the ring and banged it out with Kambosos. And
Right.
Kambosos got in some nice shots here and there too. Yeah, because Devin's eye is a little, he got a, and then on the back
He
of
said that was from
Devin's
a
back, it was a lot of like,
He said that was from a clash of heads.
yeah.
I don't know how true
Oh,
that
that
was.
was from a clash of heads.
That's what he said. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
know. But that's what he said. He said this was from a
Yeah,
clash of thing on their eye. Yeah. Go
right.
ahead.
And I think from like the holding, the only thing that I didn't like was between the two was the holding. That was the
The
only
clinch.
thing I didn't like. But other than that, the clinching, yeah. But other than that, like I'm happy for the young man. I'm happy that his father was there for that moment, historical moment. And I'm just, happy for him. Now, do I want to see a rematch? I mean, contractually he's obligated. Not really, but I would like to see him get in there and fight like to be honest with you, it looked like he needed. I mean, he can still make the weight maybe, but when I saw his face the other day before at the weigh-in, he
Yeah.
looked kind of drained. So
But he said
his
that's the
body
best
is
he's made
growing.
weight. He said that's the best he's made weight due to having a really top nutritionist. So he said he felt
Right.
that he didn't have to do saunas, but he did look very sharp in the face at weigh-in. But you saw him
Yeah.
rehydrate. He looked really big in that
Big. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh, girl,
Yeah.
bah.
So I didn't really give. I didn't. I'm gonna just share this and let somebody else go. I didn't score it, but I knew that from looking at it that give George a few or whatever, but I knew just from looking at it, just was like, yeah, that jab was a problem. Yeah.
Big time problema. Yeah. Big problem. Francis, you put 15 you put £15 Ludicrous Brown to get a knockout. I know that was wild. Electro Jed, what did you think of the fight?
Well,
And what was your initial prediction?
I take notes, right?
Yeah. What was your I know.
Here's my notes.
Join the club. What was your initial prediction before the fight? What
Oh,
did
I
you think?
thought Haney would take it by decision, but I told
Yeah.
in all the channels, including this one, I think I talked about it on this one too. Hold on. Yeah, that's better. I said that Haney would have to decisively win each round. He did. I said that Haney would use the jab. He would double and triple up on the jab and use the check left. He did. And then he would have to he would move laterally to cut off all of Kambosos' tools, and he did. So
Mm-hmm.
he stuck to the game plan. That was textbook boxing, and that's where Haney is. He's a boxer. That's how he's not a puncher. He's not a power puncher. You guys know I consider him kind of pillow fisted. That doesn't take away from his talent. He's a
Right.
talented boxer. Period. End of subject. I expected him to win. I was not surprised by the performance.
Victory.
Yeah, by the victory. The performance was on par. I mean, as fights go,
Mm.
I'm just being honest. It was kind of boring. Boring in the way this is textbook. You know what I mean? It was a formulaic fight, and he did it to the formula. That simple. There's no other way to put it.
Yeah.
I did give Kambosos 3 rounds. Let me
Yeah.
explain how. In round 2, that was kind of an even round, but I saw Kambosos land the harder punches on that round.
Yeah.
And but I did give him round 2. I gave him round 2, round 9, and round 12. I gave
12.
him round 12 because Haney was just toying with him.
It was playing with him.
But I gave it. It wasn't a give me round. It was just that he was working harder.
He knew he had it in the bank. rounds in the
Yeah,
bank. Like,
So
yeah,
so I had it 117, 111.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
my, and I congratulations to Haney. I give him his, he's vindicated that the email belt bullshit because I didn't like the way he got the belt, but you've heard me say he defended that belt 4 times. He deserves a shot at Undisputed, and I'm just glad that he got it. And let's see where he goes now. If I think the only way he can get out of that contract if Kambosos um, goes for the rematch clause is that if he goes up in weight. But Haney's a big boy. I don't think we need to see the fight. I think Haney made his point. Let go of the belts and move up to 140 because I think he'll do fine at 140.
Yeah,
That's how I.
we will definitely. That's a good point. We'll get into that actually. We're gonna get to what for Haney, who he matches up with well and not so well. Again, we did touch on it a couple nights back, but I think that was we doing that for Tank? I think we were doing that for Tank. I think I would do it for Haney. And some of the things that I was talking to someone. He may have come through in a live, and he said to me, he's a big Teofimo Lopezite. Yeah. Oh, it's really bad. It's
Who
so
is?
bad.
Who was?
Just someone that I know, and
okay.
they hit me up on so I hit him on on the gram and said, nah, look, because all of a sudden he was rooting as an American, he was rooting for Kambosos to win, and I thought, and I've been seeing that a lot. All the Americans that are Teofimo Lopez fanboys, they all rooted for Kambosos to win because
Because of the energy transfer
yeah.
to George after he won. Okay, got
But,
it. Yeah.
but why wouldn't you root for your fellow countrymen at that point? But yeah, so I was like, listen, and then I was like, and all I heard was, I need to see some of the convo just to refresh because I just had to dip out of the conversation. Yeah, you know who you are. I had to dip out, man. So I started the conversation saying, I said, told you Kambosos isn't that great. But the person said, I agree. But this is the person that was wholeheartedly rooting for Kambosos.
Oh.
I said, just because he got beat, not a not so good Tio, you thought he was great. Yeah, but Haney boxed smart. And then I said, that's what boxers are supposed to box. Smart. Tio should have too. Would have still had his belts. Smart. I said, they're all smart only with their mouths. Oh, Tio had lung issues and all types of outside issues going into that fight. I said, whatever. Shouldn't have gone in the ring then. Don't care about any issues. Once you get into the ring, all issues are void. Yup. But Tio came in thinking he could do it all in one round with a coked up dad and no game plan. Shouts out to Devin Haney. Yeah. And then I said, truly dedicated. They sent me a voice note, just still talking it. I said, truly dedicated and disciplined young man and a good sportsman. No hype, no drama, just levels. I said, well, right now, he's the first truly undisputed lightweight champ in the 4-belt era. The other two, look at them. The Aztec and Mayan curse got them. I'm so happy because this teaches people a lesson. Humility is free. Class can't be bought. Yeah, and then he said, oh, but what about Shakur? I got Shakur beating him. Yeah, I said, yeah, I like Shakur. But he's not in the same weight class at the moment, so who cares for now?
Yeah, wait till he moves up.
Oh, yeah, no, he's not. Tio was the youngest undisputed until Haney did it. And then he sends me some bullshit undisputed champs in 4-belt era that's been made up by putting Teofimo Lopez in it.
ESPN, right? The ESPN list.
I said, give Haney his props and stop fanboy. I said, no, he wasn't. Devin had a belt. That's the reason why this fight was made, to clear the dispute. And that Aztec and fraud made it so. We don't care. Tio's not mentioned in the 4-belt era as undisputed. Go look it up. Devin Haney is number 8. Have a good day. I can't back and forth with you. It's sickening, these fanboy vibes. ESPN had it on his ESPN had it on his panel. Had it on their panel. ESPN has Tyson Fury as pound for pound #1 on their panel, on their channel. What's your point?
I mean, Chad, it's funny because like ESPN, they got a narrative they got to push. Like they push their fighters that fight on their network like higher than they should be.
Yeah.
I mean, because like if ESPN had them, why didn't Showtime list Teofimo Lopez on their list?
To be honest, all the networks do that. So
yeah, they all do it. I mean, like the Zone is actually very like partial. Like they actually like give credit to all fighters on all networks.
But in the history books, in the history books, Teofimo and George Kambosos were not undisputed.
Never were.
They never were. And then the way these people fight, I'm just glad that it's over.
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
so glad that will never have to be discussed again. And I hope to God there's not another franchise belt made on.
Oh, Devin chucks that shit. I hope he chucks that
shit. Yeah, that thing is fucking cursed.
Mate. That needs to be thrown away for real. But these types of guys, they just really can't handle the
Colonel
truth.
Jessup, did you order the code red?
You don't have to answer that question.
I'll answer the question. You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
I love that one.
Chad, it's funny because you were saying like it's kind of like how after Tyson Fury knocks out Deontay Wilder for a third time, Wilder fans, now all of a sudden Fury is the greatest heavyweight who ever existed. You know what I mean?
And then all the deference in my comment section, and then as soon as Fury desecrated him in the third fight, it was like, yeah.
By the way,
I don't know where they are.
Where's that Crypto guy? Remember Crypto? Remember Crypto?
I don't know where he is. No disrespect. When Canelo got beaten by Bivol.
Do it again.
Nowhere to be seen.
Don't get mad.
Go on.
Don't get mad, LadyChann. I'm gonna use that. That's too funny, man.
Mate, yeah, it's public, so you can use whatever.
I gotta use that. That's too
Major
funny.
Key in the building. What up, though, Major? What up, though? What's happening?
What's up,
Major Key? What's going on, fam?
Pinned, guys. So anybody wants to jump in, because the link is so. Kenny Ken. There was something I was going to ask you. Now I've got blank.
There's only two things you could have asked me. You could have asked me whether George Kambosos.
No. Yeah. George Kambosos.
There's two things you could have asked me. Should there be a rematch?
Did you see?
Is he deluded?
Oh God! Where can I don't think I
can.
No,
I watched everything. I watched the whole.
Right,
it was on Sky Sports. So I watched his interview.
No,
I watched his interview afterwards.
No, let me show you some of the guys. Some of the delusions of grandeur, where I can quickly pull it up.
No, Chad, I got an article that I can post in a private chat on Boxing Scene. That you can pull that up.
No, I'd rather play this, and
okay.
this should be all right to play for a little minute, because this should be all right to play. Oh no, I don't want anyone. Sorry, this should be all right. One sec. Oh God, he's just so lame. I think Kambosos is so lame. See that belt? I tell ya. What have I been saying?
I hope it doesn't happen to Devin. I hope it doesn't happen to Devin.
Dude, that belt, Lomachenko got it. My shoulder. I think I won fight. I don't know. He didn't hit me. I win fight. Didn't. Then we move up to Teofimo Lopez. I was definitely the better boxer. I beat him 11 rounds to 2. And
if you look at
hang on, Ken. Well, let me give you the run.
Yeah.
I beat him 11 rounds to 2. This is all a conspiracy. You know, they was going to hold my hand up first. And, you know, the judges were all against me. The zone's against me. But before, Wilder was a bitch for being deluded. But anyway, Then we moved on to Canelo with Bivol. You know, I think he just win 4 or 5 rounds. Yeah, 4 or 5 rounds. You know, he didn't really hurt me. I couldn't get in the inside. Que onda, orale. Move along. Then we've got this clown Bosos talking about. Oh, go ahead, Kenny Waller.
Let's have a look.
He didn't hit me. He didn't hit me. He didn't hurt me. And I think it was a very close fight. It was a close fight. What was the king?
Deluded.
Jesus. Wow. Like, oh Lord.
You know,
yeah.
Well, the thing about it, right, is that he needs to take his kid round. They will not get. The only time they got excited is when he kind of got through. You know, I second what was said previously in the fight. You know, I predicted that it was going to be 117, 11. I was too generous to Kambosos because, I think one of the judges got it right when he said 118, 110, and even then he was generous. I only gave Kambosos a share.
Right.
That was the proper scorecard.
He got it right.
Yeah.
That judge got it right.
Yeah. I was in complete agreement with Alan Smith when he said that he can only give him a share at the first round. After that, I didn't really give him a round. I probably, if I was generous, probably gave him
I gave over 2, maximum 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
2 really.
I only gave him 1.5 rounds.
2. Yeah. A lot of people
had it.
Matthew Maplin gave him 1 round. Matthew Maplin gave him 1 round. He gave him the first round.
I know. Matthew Maplin was completely right. So, in terms of another thing he should take his cues from is that, his trainer was wasn't exactly enthusiastic. His dad was basically as good as telling him, "Oh, do it for your kids. Do it for your kids." His dad was telling him, "You're losing the fight. You're not in it." And George himself, afterwards, he knew he lost. He knew he lost, man.
Tried to run up on them ropes, mate.
I think what George is trying to do, he's trying to drum it up in his mind, as to say it was close enough. It could have gone either way. That way, if he believes that, and someone else believes that, then what will happen is that they'll have their rematch in Australia again, and that's one of the reasons why George is doing this. He wants another payday. He wants another rematch. But I'll tell you one thing: Australian boxing fans won't be wanting to see that again, especially when it was that one-sided. No way.
No, that's what we're trying to avoid at this moment in time.
But contract's a contract. I suppose one thing Devin Haney said about Kambosos, and another thing I agree with as well. There's a lot of so-called champions out there who I believe are into arse preservation, arse protectors, protecting their records at all times. And I think that at least George, gave this guy a shot, because there's a lot of fighters who want to fight Devin Haney because of the fact that they don't like the fact that he's quick on his feet and that he's a boxer. They don't want to get embarrassed. He thought, "I've got to fight the best." But let's but moving forward, right? Let's have a look. Listen.
I just wanted to get the levels up. Sorry, and see if you could. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, you can.
Yeah. Hello.
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 I can hear you, Ken. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
We can all hear you. So,
I think CHANN is frozen. CHANN, are you there? She's frozen.
LadyChann, you frozen?
Your screen is frozen. She's not moving. She might,
She might come back on, but it's a case of trying to sell a rematch. It may be in a clause, but you still have to sell it to the TV networks in Australia. Got to sell it to, football stadiums in Australia as well. So that's one of the reasons why he's coming out with this nonsense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, because Ken, you said it's like no Australia. I mean, after what the Australians just saw, they're not going to want to watch that again. I mean, they just saw their guy lose. They just saw their guy lose to an American in their backyard. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I agree with that. I agree.
They're not going to want to watch that again. I mean, like, honestly, if the only chance it could possibly be successful, do the rematch in the US. Why not? Maybe
that's one of the things as well. But I think what's happened, right, in terms of the Australians, is that the thing with boxing in Australia is not like boxing in the United Kingdom and in the United States. Australians, they've got a rich history of boxing, but predominantly during that time of year, they'll be having their Aussie rules football, their rugby league, and then in their summer and our winter, they'll be having their cricket. So those kind of sports that kind of dominate Australian, as Bob Arum has said, and the Bella has said yesterday, a lot of Australian fighters have to come to the UK, have to come to the United States, and in order to make their fortune and get a fan base. You only have to look at fighters before that. Jeff Fenwick had to come to the USA. Jeff Harding, a lot of fighters, even Beal, all these great Australian fighters had to come away from home because, when you box in Australia, the domestic market is really strong, but it can only take you so far because maybe UK and maybe and American networks ain't interested in what Australians are doing within themselves, so that's why they have to come to both countries.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, by the way, Chan just she said a Wi-Fi crash, so she's getting it sorted. So let's just chop it up while she gets back.
Yeah, what happened with her? She
definitely.
Yeah,
her Wi-Fi crash. She's getting it sorted, so she said chop it up.
God, yeah.
It happens, man.
Yeah. Wi-Fi is a mother, man.
But in terms of like, don't you guys find it, like kind of obvious why Mr. Aram's there? Because I think I can speak for myself. I can't speak for both of you, but it looks like good old Bob Arum is thinking, right, I'm going to get my golden boy Lomachenko in there. So now,
I think
of course.
Arum came out and said that. He said he wants to match Devin against Loma next. That's what he already said. And he was already standing next to Devin before the decision was announced, kind of like he was I found my new golden goose. You know what I'm saying? Like he's got all the belts now, and so it's obvious now he wants to put together a lot of good fights for him. So
he wants that for he wants Undisputed for Loma because they wasn't happy when Tio
100%.
won that fight. From what I heard, they were not happy.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
People at Top Rank, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they was riding for Loma, yeah. But
Yeah.
And I hope Tio beat Loma too. I mean, not Tio beat Loma. I hope Devin beat Loma too.
Me too. I'm not really picking. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of unsure if I'm being honest. I was picking Loma to beat him before, but I was actually picking Loma to beat both George and Devin. If I'm being honest. I mean, especially if when Loma was going to fight George, he's gonna go there and come back with those belts to show Loma. You know what I mean? I had Loma all day.
So
I'm with you.
But he got to wait. But he got to wait for. Oh, I'm sorry. Swab in the back, but he got to wait for. LadyChann to come on.
Yeah.
Now go ahead, Ken. You were going to say something?
Yeah, but, I think what's happening in terms of like Loma as well is that it's all about Bob's version of marketability, and from the start, from even when Loma like won his gold in London, it was always a case of trying to build this guy up. And I think me myself, I'm a massive Loma fan, and I still think that he's probably the best of the bunch. But every time I see the other fighters, every time I see Devin Haney, I'm thinking, you know what? I look at Loma's beautiful feet. I look at his his skills and the way he can his inside fight and everything. But I look at Devin Haney and I look at him and I think, you know what? This guy's capable of that. This guy is capable. I know people say he's got pillow fists, but I always say in boxing, right, is that sometimes, right, if you plant your feet and your timing's right, you put in and you catch someone clean, they're going down. They're going down. Doesn't
That's true.
There are some fighters that don't have to plant their feet and they've got natural power, but there are some fighters who can get taken out. And I think, Haney and Loma, that will be a very good fight. But I think, mathematically and maybe in terms financially, I think George has to be compensated, maybe pay him a bit of step aside or something, or promise him something, you know, in the air because you know, it's a very binding contract.
Sorry, my internet just decided it's weird. On this laptop said there was no Wi-Fi, but that laptop and my phone and everything was still connected to Wi-Fi, and no matter what, it just reconnected. So I had to shut the laptop down and come back again. Now LadyChann is
My
back
laptop is like that too. It does that shit too.
I don't know what. This is the first time that's happened to that. Shall we get back to go on, chop it up? Suab's joined us as well. What's up, Suab?
Hi, Swab.
Yo, how you guys?
Hey, Suave.
What
Hey,
up?
Suave.
What up, Suave? In the building.
How you guys doing?
We good.
We're all good.
Yeah, just close
Yeah.
up.
I'm great.
Man, that's good to hear, man. That was my boy AJ, dude. But I'm so excited. I'm so glad Devin Haney won the fight. Literally, I was watching the fight and then I fell asleep. I fell asleep. I was so tired. I didn't even go on. I think either Julius's or who else? I think Coach was live as well. So I was watching both their lives, but I didn't want to join because I was too tired. I couldn't even speak. But I think I fell asleep. I think after the fourth round, I fell asleep and I woke up probably like a couple hours later. And then I saw it. I was like, wow, okay, Devin Haney won the whole fight. He won the fight. He literally, the judges gave him the fight. I'm impressed. I watched the fight again. I replayed it, and then I watched the whole fight. Luckily, I didn't fall asleep this time. So, so I gave I think I gave the round 2 and round 12 to Kambosos. That's it. And the rest, all 10 rounds, all of the other 10 rounds go to Devin Haney. Kambosos didn't do anything. Devin Haney was literally in gear 1. He was just jabbing, right hand, jabbing, right hand. He's keeping him out of range. And what did Kambosos do? He couldn't do anything just to, you know what I mean, like neutralize his jab. He couldn't go in the inside. He couldn't go, you know what I mean? He couldn't duck it. Huh?
He had no jab. Kambosos barely threw any jabs the whole fight.
He couldn't duck. I think he couldn't duck the jab. That's the problem. He couldn't do anything about Devin Haney's jab.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's a great fight. I'm so excited. I knew this was my outcome from the beginning. Devin Haney wins by points, but he will get robbed. That's one thing I had in my mind, that he would definitely get robbed by the judges.
Australia.
And the judges' scorecard, the judges' scorecards were all weird. It's like I saw they
was good,
completely gave them.
The other two,
the one was all right. 118, 112. I agree with that, but
they tried to make it close. Right?
Yeah, 116, 112. The other two, wasn't there?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So two of the other judges.
I understand, but my point was each of those judges literally had completely different rounds. I didn't see one match. Every single judge had Kambosos winning different rounds.
Oh wow!
Yeah, literally, I saw it on Twitter. I think somewhere. I think I reposted it as well, or I didn't. I probably just scrolled through it. If you look at the scorecards, you find the scorecards, and you will see that literally every single judge had separate rounds. So one judge had him say like winning 3, 4. The second judge had him winning 4, 5, 6, like that. So something similar to that.
Wow.
Anyways, I've been rumbling on. I've been rumbling on.
No, it's okay.
So,
this is what George had to say, though. This is what we're talking about. His delusions, you know, with the Mayan curse, the Aztecan curses in the building. Yeah, look.
Let's just say a few marks, but if you jump in there with me too, you'll keep it insane. I'm the man in the arena at the end of the day. I'll make this happen. If I didn't choose this, the deck record is something that needs to buy. We're going to get on some of the rounds, but I take the risk, and that's part of the risk. You take risks, you reap reward, but it was his time tonight, and all the best, and we're sure that the adversity that I'm going to go through now, I'll be back hungry and never.
George, where did it go wrong?
I know what I'm going to do for beginning of the rematch. We had them in the game plans, Portuguese.
Chan, LadyChann, if you mute your own, if you mute yourself, you can hear the video properly. So while the video's playing, if you mute yourself, yeah, it's better. Then
Sorry.
you won't get feedback.
Okay, sorry. All right, got you.
No, don't be sorry.
To take records, I could have fought me for fight and look at me, I knocked someone out 2 rounds. But I take the risk, and that's part of the risk. You take risk, you reap reward, but it's not tonight. And all the best, and be sure that the adversity that I've got to go through now, I'll be back hungrier than ever.
George, where did it go wrong?
Now, George, you just stylistically, have you got thoughts on what you need to change up to beat him in rematch?
Yeah, I know what I've got to do to beat him in the rematch. We had them game plans. Unfortunately, we couldn't implement the way we wanted to. The ref did let a few things go as well, which should have been, pulled up a touch, but it is what it is. I'll go back to the drawing board with my team, and congratulations to Devin Haney and his team for the win. They came all the way out here, like I did with the Lakers, and they got the win today. But I'll be back.
George, where did it go wrong?
If so, when and where would you like to have it?
As soon as possible. We'll do it tomorrow if you want. I feel great, so it is what it is. And hopefully, end of the year, November, we do it again. Look, I gave him the shot. No one else was going to give him a shot. There was too much politics involved for him. And like,
I'm muted. Do you remember? I'll get more onto that. Do you remember he didn't want to give Devin the shot? He wanted to give Loma. He promised Devin and then switched up and said, "No, I'm doing Loma instead." Do you remember? This almost had to be forced onto him to do because Loma is away at war. So do you remember?
Yes, basically his second option. Sorry, for Boy, and then before they won the fight, or even after, I think after the Kambosos won the fight, literally both of them, Devin Haney, and whenever they met or any interviews that I have seen of them, they were saying, "We're gonna make the fight. I'll be a man of my words. We're gonna make the fight." But so meaning Devin Haney was your first choice because that's what you said as you came out. But no, afterwards, maybe Lou DiBella, maybe Bob Arum, I don't know, both of them, I think, told you not to fight Devin Haney and fight Lomachenko. Just because Lomachenko was stuck in Ukraine, that's why you gave the option to Devin Haney. That's why. So he was your first choice, and he became your first choice. Just because your second choice, Lomachenko, you couldn't make it, so that's why you had to go with him. I won't say it was forced on him. Well done to him. With that. Thank you for picking Devin Haney. So.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway, yeah, for real, good point. All right, let's hear the rest of what he's got.
Him and Lomachenko, right straight away was a man of my word. And I said, okay, let's just make sure it made sense. Obviously, he's going to want to make sure it makes sense on his end, but let's get it done. And let's give the fans a great fight. Let's fight.
George, where did it go wrong for you, and do you feel you're as sharp as you were against Lopez?
Yeah, look, I was sharp in points. I landed very good shots. I hurt him a few times. I felt like every time I landed clean, he was hurt. So, he just fought his game off that jab. He just boxed off that jab and did his holding. He did hold a lot. He did hit low. Every time I tried to exchange, he dropped into that hit. So, it is what it is.
Did he do anything you didn't expect? Did he do anything you didn't expect in there or didn't plan for?
Yeah. Look, I thought he would have fought a little bit more, but he's a good fighter. Don't get me wrong, he's a good fighter. This is a high level, it was a high level chess match. I tried to make it a little bit more aggressive. He boxed his fight, and the judges had him the winner tonight, and all respect to him and his team. And this is boxing, like I said, I'm here never to protect the record. I've had a hard journey, as we know, we've been through the hardest journey I feel in boxing, and I give him his applause tonight. Humble in the feet and the victory as well.
George, you like to fight in Sydney, your hometown, maybe from your stadium?
I've seen the way that they're doing it, and you and Bob can probably answer this one. I think I'll be back here in Melbourne, but I love Melbourne. Look at the crowd today. Look at the fans behind me. And even after the defeat, they all stood there and we're so applauding of the fight. So I love that. I respect that so much, and thank you to the fans and to the media and everybody here today. And, I'm very proud to have brought a great fight.
Find the bit where he said it was a close fight. I need to. Let's just tap back in because it's coming up. I need to break it up because YouTube don't like you playing other people's commentary without having your commentary alongside it. So let's see.
Trying boxing.
George, fantastic performance. What would you say to the how this is laying the path for the Australian boxing for the youngsters in the future?
Yeah, look, this is not the end for me. We will get it on again, and I will handle my business next time. But at the end of the day, this is a great thing for young kids, amateurs, aspiring professionals, and I'll continue doing my best. And I'm very proud to have brought a big fight here, and proud to bring another big fight again by the end of the year. And there'll be more to come for these young amateurs, these young professionals, and that's why me and my father have ferocious promotions to help these guys. I got to the top. I did get to the top, and I'm still at the top, with or without a belt. I know who I am as a fighter, as a champion. The belts, don't make me a champion. It's who I am in here and who I am fighting the best of the best. So this brought Australia together. This brought the Greek community together, and I'm sure this brought the world together as well.
We love you, George.
There you go, George. Well done, Georgie. George, how did it feel to go back?
Yeah, look, it's an amazing thing. Look, I've come from very humble beginnings where I was bullied and had to fight through that. So I've been through a lot more adversity than just a boxing fight and tasting defeat for the first time tonight. I'm very honoured to have my kids here. I had my two are here, my other one's in the back there, my baby. So to have them ringside, it means a lot, and I hope the memories for them is something great. And I'm sure they're going to get to see it again, and Dad will be champion again with the belts. But I know ultimately they don't care about that.
Jan, you muted.
I've got to find the right one. I think it's this one because seconds out.
I've seen it. I think you said it in the beginning. It was seconds out video.
It's seconds out, isn't it?
Yeah. Might be that one.
That's where it is. I've just looked at it on my phone. It's on seconds out. This guy's a clown. I don't care.
yeah, but Chad, I got the article. You can put that up if you want to post it.
Yeah, but I'd rather him say it.
Yeah. I hear you.
He's trying to sell the rematch. He's not like other. He's not. If you're a big name, you got lost like that, you would say, "Yeah, I got beat," because you'll get the public want a second fight. But when you're someone like John Kambosos, is not a big name, you have to sell the rematch. You have to, make people see that it wasn't there, and what we didn't see was a close fight. He has to sell it as a close fight, or no one is buying that rematch. There'll be no football stadium in Australia. There'll be no Fox Australia, no like people from Channel 9, all those channels in Australia will be interested. So he's doing the right thing. It'd be a pork chop not to say that. An absolute fool, idiot. It's true though, because if I was him and I wasn't that well known around boxing, I would tell everyone who would be listening that I slipped. I got caught. Like the referee didn't give me something. It was really close, and I was a punch away from getting a fight. Oh, but I'm selling the rematch. He's selling the rematch. He knows he got beaten. His body language.
I agree with you.
He probably knows he's going to get beaten again.
I agree with you, Kenny. But the problem is, even after, no matter how much he tries to sell that piece of shit, he won't be able to sell it because 99.90%, people believe that Devin Haney won it with a landslide. Only the 10%, whatever that is left, that's him, his trainer, his mom, his dad, and his kids. That's the only people that believe he won.
I mean, I'll be seriously, like, I dare somebody to come on here and say George Kambosos won that fight. I mean, I'm just going to go into an epic rant like you never heard before. I'm serious. Like, I dare somebody to come on here and try to actually have the audacity to argue that George Kambosos won. Like seriously. I mean, like, honestly, like
Alexis, tell Alexis to come on and say that shit. Remember what you were saying before that?
Yep, I remember.
Well, fuck me, no.
All right, so this is bits and pieces of this one, what he says on this one. So this is for educational purposes only, and we will break it up for some of the commentary. But this is better quality. But shouts out to Fight Hype. They do get you, but this is the seconds out one where he starts to accuse already about people running Okay, one sec. Let's go. It's ridiculous. Come on, you bastard. Laptop wants to be like, I'm not your friend. Hang on.
From an analysis point at this stage?
Yeah, look, I thought I heard him a few times, but that's his game. He likes to run and move, and if he feels that he's ahead on the scorecards, he'll do his thing. But I'm not going to take away from his night. I've been there before when Lopez did that to me, so I'd be a piece of shit if I'd done that to him. But there is a few things where I thought, they were should have been pulled up. But all the best to him. He's the champion now, from what the judges said, and we'll do it again.
Was this?
Do you agree with the cards?
I felt the fight was very close. From what I've been told, I outlanded him. I outpunched him. He still fights. He had a jab, but there wasn't much else. I think he might have landed one or two right hands, but that's about it.
Just what I said is exactly what I said. We've all been there where we fought someone and everyone's behind us, willing us on. What happened? What happened? Oh, you know what? It was just a lucky punch. All I needed was just that one big right hand. I repeated him, and I got so close. Oh yes, George, you did really well, man. Yeah, well done, man. Yeah, I had it close as well. Maybe next time you'll be able to get that punch. All you need is that one bit of luck. That's what he's trying to sell. He's trying to sell the rematch.
Do you think, Ken?
That's what he's doing. 100%. He's trying to. He has. The fact is, of course, it's a pork chop, man. That's an Aussie word, man. I'm sure everyone, be under their breath. Like everyone at Channel 9, Channel 7, people at Fox Sport Australia probably saying, "What's this pork chop on about?" But the fact is that he's not a big name. If you're Canelo and you lost like that, of course you're going to get a rematch because Canelo puts bums on seats. This guy had to sell this fight to the whole of Australia. He had to sell it. And the reason why he was able to sell it to Australia because he did the impossible because everyone thought that, Lopez was going to knock his block off and it was going to be so one-sided. But he went to the trenches, took Lopez into like a street fight and probably somewhere in Sydney, Dallenhurst in Sydney, probably use his knees, his elbows, and everything. That kind of fight that Lopez wasn't expecting. Lopez believed the crap that his dad was telling him that all he had to do was turn up and knock this bum out. And what happened? Two deluded fighters fought, and then the Greek Australian won. But in terms of like trying to sell this fight, he has to do that. He has to. He'd be a fool not to. He's not a fool. He knows no one wants to watch that again. He knows no one wants to watch that again. He knows it was one-sided.
No, don't put us
he has
through
to
it.
sell the fight.
He probably knows he won't beat him.
Do you think he'll take the fight?
Yeah, of course I do. Lots of people know that. It's like, but the fact is, Anthony Joshua, everyone talks about it. Let's bring Joshua in it. Everyone's saying that Anthony Joshua hasn't got a hope in hell against Usyk. But the fact is that Anthony Joshua doesn't have to sell that because of Anthony Joshua, who Anthony Joshua is. We're going to want to see that rematch because it's Joshua.
Yeah.
Exactly, Kenny. Exactly. Kambosos is going to be like the Kraken. Sorry, Kenny. Kambosos is going to be like
name in boxing.
I know. He's not. Kambosos is going to be the towns. The local downtown or in the area, the shopping center area. Those crackheads that sit around and talking nonsense. He's going to be them. He's going to be one of them, but he's not going to get that fight. You know what I mean? He's going to be that crackhead that's walking around the mall. Please buy that fight. I won that fight. I believe I won that fight. It was a close fight. He's going to be like a crackhead to all of us. Don't forget about it.
The thing is, if you look at hindsight before the fight, when everyone's had their pound per pound ratings of all the kind of fighters on the lower weight, lightweight, super overweight, like welterweights and everything, Kambosos' name's not on there. Devin Haney's name's on there. So that in itself means that this guy has to try and sell that rematch. He has to be a fool not to.
He ain't nothing. He ain't nothing. And look, 85
Exactly.
jabs landed
He's
on
come from
George
nowhere.
Kambosos. The most ever that's been landed in his whole entire career. So he got beaten with a jab. Couldn't adjust.
Yep.
You couldn't adjust, and then you want to talk about that? You know, it didn't really hit you. You weren't really hurt. Nothing. You know, the whole team just wanted to tell him. Just in the whole of Australia was just like,
shut your bitch ass up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do the crickets. Do the cricket. Do the cricket noise. They were like crickets.
They weren't, but the thing is, they weren't like, some of them were crickets, but then some of them in that room would, you heard them say, well, your face doesn't look like it, you ain't been basically bashed about.
That'll be Haney's dad.
Yeah, and Haney's dad, and George Kambosos' dad was really didn't have that much etiquette and decorum in the ring afterwards, because when Devin won, Devin kind of like went to say to George Kambosos, and George Kambosos kind of said something to him, turned his back on him and thingied, and Devin was like
it was like a little scuffle almost broke out, right?
And then
like,
they scuffled, and it was I saw it, and it was Team Kambosos that started the
okay, because I was confused because Bill went off.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I was confused about who started it.
Yeah, it was
no rematch. It's about a rematch. Sell rematch. Sell a rematch. You know, they go along, you know, like I said, it's about boxing nowadays is getting like wrestling now. You have to there has to be a bad guy. There has to be a good guy. Good versus evil. Let's sell a fight and let's put bums and see. Let's hope good wins over evil. And that's again, they're all in. There was no reason for them to have any controversy. You know, after the event, it was like a clear win for Haney. But again, the Australian public are not fools. They're probably the most honest people out there. Their silence for the first half of that fight says it all. That it wasn't close.
Yeah, and
they're the judges and jury. Exactly. The Australian public who were quiet in those rounds. Yeah, they are the judge and jury, and they judged that Kambosos hasn't got a hope in hell of one beating Haney in any month of the day, and most importantly, they don't want to see a rematch. That it wasn't close. They're the judges.
Yeah. But this is what I'm saying. It sounds like the ball's in Devin Haney's court now, where I thought is that he had to, by default, go back to Australia to make this second fight. But according to Bob, it doesn't seem that needs to happen. It doesn't.
Why's Bob saying that though? Why's Bob saying that?
The whole rematch to happen.
Yeah, Bob's a manipulator.
Bob wants to put him there with Loma.
Yeah, exactly.
Bob wants him in there with Loma. But yeah, but the thing is, let's not forget that Devin Haney, has just joined Top Rank. Why did he jump Top Rank? Because Bob Arum's probably said, "Look, you stick with me, and I'll get you that shot, but you've got to give my guy a shot." It's all, you know what I mean? The fact is, was Devin Haney with Matchroom? Was he with Matchroom, Devin Haney?
Yeah, he is. Yeah. He's a network free agent, though.
Yeah.
Well,
Bob Arum.
Not contractually, he's with DAZN.
He's a network free agent, though. He's with Matchroom, but he's a network free agent.
Bob don't like rematches, guys. He said that.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny, like, what
he doesn't like that. Unless he hold up.
If they're contractually obligated, they have to.
Yeah. Unless he's shading Lou DiBella, I don't know.
It's up to George. I mean, it's up to George. It's balls in his court. I mean, it's up to him, really, if he wants to exercise it.
Exercise it. Would you think?
I think if Devin Haney, because I think if Devin Haney lost, he's Top Rank still owed him a fight, even if Devin lost. I think.
It's okay. So when you was watching that, did that fight feel like it was the same? Did it feel like it was for an Undisputed? Did it feel like how when you watched Terence Crawford, or did it feel like when you watched Canelo?
No.
Did it feel like when you watched even Castano and Charlo?
Nope.
Did it feel like an Undisputed fight?
Even though
Like,
it was, no, it didn't.
Because Devin Haney was
might
that
go
good.
down as a classic.
Those were better fights. Those were much
He
better
wouldn't
fights.
go.
Does
Yeah,
it go
but
down as
Devin
a
Haney was
classic?
too good. It
No,
won't go
I
down as a
don't-
classic.
no.
Only because,
No.
yeah,
Yeah.
but that's only because of Devin Haney's skill. And the thing is that, you know, what do they say in the United States? Skill pays the bills.
Yeah.
And that's
Pays the
and that's
bills.
exactly what happened. And that's
I
what
mean,
happened.
because
Devin Haney didn't allow it to be a classic.
Because Ken, you're right. Like George, I mean, Devin made it. He outclassed George so much that the fight wasn't competitive.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. That's why, like, you need both guys of equal skill to make a fight good. You know what I mean? And George just wasn't on Devin's skill level as far as boxing goes.
Yeah. That's a good point as
Doesn't
well.
it-
And JC1, Bob doesn't like rematches, yet he had Pac fight Marquez and Bradley in several rematches. I know. You know, Bob, when it's
Because he's
to
fighter
do with
lost.
certain
Yeah, but if Bob Fighters loses, then he likes Bob. If a Bob fighter lost, then obviously Bob wants a rematch.
then he would love a rematch. Yeah.
Right, like that.
Let me rephrase that. He doesn't like rematch clauses.
Eddie's done it twice.
Yeah.
Josh, really.
Go ahead.
But you know,
But rematch has
clauses
been
say
a part of boxing forever, so
Yeah.
you know, I don't get it. Yeah.
It's not uncommon. So
Yeah, rematch, same result, I think, as well. So
Yeah,
that's why
I
I'm
think
saying
so.
there's no
I
bloody
think
point.
I think the rematches in boxing is all about the fact that it's like the same situation like we were in school. The so-called hard nut gets in a fight with someone, the hard nut loses, and his rep goes down. So in order for his rep to go back up, he has to fight that guy again and beat him. Just like rematches. Like I said, the king of rematches is Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. I'm not slagging them off, but if you look at the situation, is that they got a big profile. It's big profile with
Loads of them is rematches.
but you know, but if
What do
you
you
think
mean the
about it, in
king of
terms of what we're seeing
rematches? I'm
now,
lost about that.
no, you know what I
I'm
mean,
not saying
but you
he's
know
the
what I
king
mean.
of rematches. He's only had
Yeah.
one, Ken.
I
And
know,
then
but
you've
he's
got
having another
Tyson
one,
Fury.
isn't he?
That's got trilogy. Yeah, then this is the
Yeah,
second one.
I
Then
know.
you've got Tyson Fury that's had trilogies. No. Wait. We've
I have
had
to
Tyson
explain
Fury
this.
had
Let me
2
explain
fights
this.
with
What
Steve
I'm trying to
Cunningham.
say.
I mean, with John McDermott, 2 fights there. And then also he's had 3 fights with Deontay Wilder.
No.
And there's someone else that he was supposed to have 2 fights with.
Chisora.
Chisora, he fought Chisora
Derek
twice.
Chisora, he's had 2 fights with. Who's the king of rematches?
All right. What
Tyson
I'm
Fury's
saying
had
is
about
that
8 rematches, 8 fights with about 4 of the same people.
What I'm saying is that rematches have been part of boxing for over 50 years. Look what happened to Floyd Patterson. We're going back to 1959. He lost to Johansson, and then he had to fight in rematch. That's what it's. You know, at the end of the day, if you're a big rematch, the fact is sometimes rematches are not exactly how
Rematch
people describe them.
clauses are about a lot. Yeah.
I think the
But
public are just
you
going to have
can't
to
say one
accept.
fight is the king of rematches. That's
No,
all.
I know what I mean. I take that back. One thing, we as boxing fans, what we have to do is that we, as much as we don't like rematches, we have to accept that rematches are here to stay. They're always going to be about, especially when you've got a big name. And you've got a promoter who wants to preserve their position at the top. Any promoter who doesn't insert a rematch clause is an absolute pork chop. I'm sorry. If I'm a promoter and I had a big name, I'm inserting rematch clauses all over the contracts because there's no way that I'm going to give in to you guys, boxing fans, without protecting my position and protecting my fighters' preservation. Because at the end of the day, the bills have to be paid.
Yeah, they do.
It's
And do you
insurance
guys
policy.
think that is Devin Haney a fight friendly, a fan friendly fighter?
No, he ain't.
No. He's gonna turn off
Not
a
at
lot of.
all.
He's gonna turn off a lot of casuals, but it's But I mean, I've come to accept that's the way he fights. That's the way he is. I've come to accept that, and then I mean, like he's not the most aesthetically pleasing. He's not the most entertaining, fan friendly style, but it's like that. I've come to say he's a pure boxer with heart. That's what he is. Not unless he moves up in weight and becomes some like boxer puncher later in his career or something like that. You know what I mean?
Isn't Loma a pure boxer? Is he? Is he? he's pure boxer as well,
Also
though.
I'd say Loma's a boxer. He
But
kind
he's
of
also a puncher a bit as well.
I say he's a boxer puncher.
He's
He's
good
both.
to watch.
I say he's both. He's a boxer and a boxer puncher. He's both.
But yesterday, I thought, you know, what I felt as a boxing purist, I felt thoroughly entertained by what Devin Haney did.
Yeah.
Like for me,
Oh yeah,
I
It's
like movement
one-sided.
and good feet. All right, it's
Yeah.
one sided, but I was excited and out of my. Well, I was watching it in bed anyway, but I was out of my bed anyway. When I saw the jab going in Kambosos' face, I was getting excited about when he turned around and his feet
appreciating.
away from that trouble.
Yeah, because Ken, I'm appreciating Devin's skill.
You've got to not over talk on
sorry.
top because it gets all muddy. I couldn't even hear the last bit of what Ken said.
My bad. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
Go ahead, Ken. What was the last bit you said?
No, all I'm trying to say is that I understand what people were saying, because I think at the end of the day, you know, we've been probably doing this for about a year now, isn't it? If we get to September, it'll be about a year, so probably 9 months. I think we've all been in agreement that at the end of the day, we're a sure thing in boxing, and that, you know, the people who you know buy these you know, ringside tickets and buy all these tickets, they're the sort of people that are casual boxing fans. They're also fans of other sports. So at the end of the day, I do agree that, you know, certain fighters, you know, the way they build, the way they fight, they're not going to put bums in seats. So I get it. But for me, in terms of what I saw, I was really excited about the way, not just about the jab and the right hands that he sneaked in the later round, but it's the way he managed to turn Kambosos around and get Kambosos punching into thin air. You know, in terms of his feet movement, that really excited me, because, you know, I'm very big on feet, as you know, we've discussed in the last 9 months since we've been together. Feet movement, I've always been, you know, got really excited about that.
Yeah. Go ahead, AJ. Thanks, Ken. Go ahead, AJ.
For sure, my bad. Yeah, I mean, because I was just saying that, like, I'm looking at it as like a purist, like, boxing fan. Like, it's like I appreciate Devin's skill level on display. I like the skill of his jab, is overall, you know, just the skill of his style, his movement, you know, his jab, his right hand that he was landing. I mean, I'm just appreciating like the overall skill set of his style, not like where like, oh, he's boring, yada yada, this and that. And I'm kind of used to just what he does now. That's all for me.
Yeah, he just accepts it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And okay, and also, so now talking about Devin Haney, say he doesn't have to fight Kambosos again. Where is Devin Haney? Does Devin Haney, now that you've seen this performance, because when we spoke about it, we was talking about Tank and Devin Haney. We hadn't seen this fight, so I don't know if we knew where Devin Haney, what he really looks like against someone prime for prime, with decent boxing skills. Does Devin Haney, who does he beat? Does he beat a lot of the other lads at 135? Heavy lefty, peace to the guard. What up, Dell? Does he beat Tank? Does he beat Ryan Garcia? Does he beat Lomachenko? Does he beat, like, who does Devin Haney beat in 135?
Honestly, I think that he could beat Tank, he could beat Ryan. He'll struggle with Loma. And I mean, because like the thing is, shout out to Julius, the Ring IQ. He was saying this. He was saying like the reason the fight worked out the way it did last night was because from a style matchup, a boxer puncher, his weakness is a pure boxer. Like that style match, that's a bad style matchup. Like Tank and Ryan, they're like they're box. I mean, sometimes yeah. I mean, sometimes the majority of times, but sometimes like Tank and Ryan, they're boxer punchers. So like Devin could give them a lot of issues with his boxing, because like he's not giving you that many mistakes to capitalize on, unlike Rolly did, unlike, you know, Santa Cruz did, and, you know, others, stuff like that. So that's why I can see. I mean, so unless, like, you know, they land something big on Devin will beat them.
Yeah, because he'll outbox them.
Yeah.
Lisa?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
What was the question, honey?
Who does Devin beat in 135?
I think he could beat Ryan. Tank would be that's a tough one here. But they may bring out the best in each other, because the style matchups are so different. But Tank has that power, that equalizer. So I'm going to say 50-50 there, 60-40 in favor of Tank. Who else? Who else is at 135?
Lomachenko.
Right. Lomachenko, I guess that could be a 50-50 fight too, because it's going to be a chess match. But I may edge it to Loma and skill, and as far as Devin has a lot of skill, but Loma has that pedigree amateur, but I would be rooting for Devin. I'll just say 50-50.
Yeah.
No, 55-45.
55-40.
Because I do understand who he's fought, and Loma has a little bit more pop too, it looks like.
Yeah. And that's I think Devin probably doesn't beat Loma. Yes, in my opinion, due to what Loma's skill set, angles. He is a counter puncher, but he's also got pop, and I have to see it in the same breath as that. Basically,
Southpaw too.
Lomachenko basically put down Richard Comey, who's a tough, big 135 pounder who is now at 140. Loma could do that to Richard Comey. I believe he could do that to Devin. I believe he could stop Devin with accumulative punches as well. Because I even yesterday, the couple of shots that George Kambosos landed on and caught Devin with, I don't like still somehow how I see Devin respond to punches. He kind of balls up and kind of doesn't know. Yeah, his resistance looks a bit, I don't know, a bit questionable. So I'm just imagining if that's a bigger puncher like Loma, would that pose a lot of problems? I just think Loma's beats Devin, in my opinion. Tank, now seeing this performance, I think Devin outboxes Tank. Tank catches you, it's mad, yeah. But you're gonna have to catch Devin, and I think it sounds easier than what it is. Tank will catch him. You don't know. Do you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, we're not really seeing Tank fight anyone elite to know what his really elite skills are. And then you've got Ryan Garcia. I just think that Devin Haney just totally outboxes him. I thought about it now. He outboxes him. And then who else have we got? Teofimo Lopez may pose some problems if they was both at 140. Right. Because Teofimo is the boxer, but the puncher. And I always, it depends. Like AJ said, sometimes I do go with the boxer puncher against the purist boxer, and then sometimes I go with the purist boxer against the puncher per se. I always think a boxer puncher is a bit more of a dangerous combination than someone that's purely a puncher and sometimes someone that's purely a boxer. Devin's a counter puncher, so he, it's the cliche, styles does make fights, because as a counter puncher, George is a counter puncher, so they're both waiting for each other to hit first so they can counter. So that's why it's going to be boring. That's why it was better when you saw Jojo Diaz, who is a pressure fighter more.
Yeah.
Devin responds to the pressure. Jojo Diaz is always going to be trying to walk you down. But when you've got two counter punchers, it's almost like too polarizing. It just repels. It's just like, well, you do something first before I do something. No, you do something first before I do something. And then there's this massive standoff and it becomes stagnant. So, but I do think, other than the ones that I've said, I think Devin Haney clears up the board, other than Lomachenko and that's 135.
Because also like Chan, adding to. Sorry, were you done?
I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. Go ahead.
Okay, because I agree with your assertions about Devin fighting Loma, because like Loma could have stopped Comey, he really could have, but he's off. He took his foot off the gas, and if he could outbox Comey and also drop him and come close to stopping him, then I believe he could stop Devin. And also Ryan has never really been keen on the Devin fight anyway, because I think he knows deep down that he probably won't beat him. I mean, like I'm just gonna call it what it is. Yeah, he's never been keen on that fight. I mean, he called his performance last night a NyQuil performance. That's what he was saying. And it's like, oh, boring. I'm like, okay, well, why don't you fight him? I mean, you fucked off your title shot. This could have been you in there. Like if you would have fought Devin after you beat Luke, this could have been you in there tonight or last night.
Yeah.
But you walked away from yeah, I am too. I'm rooting for Fortuna. Hopefully he pulls off the upset. But anyway, moving on. But
yeah. Ryan,
yeah, I mean, but yeah, I'm trying to think of anybody else in the 135 that Devin. I think he could be. Honestly, I think he could beat Richard Comey if they put him in there. Put him in there with Comey at this point too. He could beat him as well.
I believe so.
And it's gonna be interesting. I mean, I don't think the Tank fight will happen because you know how the PBC does over there, of course. You know what I mean? So, but I think what was next for Devin. Yeah, I'm just trying to strategize in my brain. I see because nobody wants to see him against George again. I don't think there's any interest in that. George is saying he'll initiate the rematch clause, but time will tell. I mean, we'll see.
Hello said the same thing. We ain't seen it.
And now he's fighting Triple G. So yeah, there you go. So George might change his mind, and if he does, we could see Devin in there with Loma next. But I mean, that depends on if Loma comes back. I mean, because like honestly, like when him and Tio, I see that as a kind of a 50-50 matchup. I'll give it 50-50 with Devin and Tio if they were to fight. Of course, Devin would have to move up in weight because Tio's no longer 135. But that's a 50-50 matchup for me.
Yeah.
And not really sure who'd win that one.
Swab, you keep going on and off. You keep dropping on and off. Is it a Wi-Fi thing?
I apologize. No, my phone is a headphones thing. Basically, when I connected my AirPods, it wasn't working. Anyways, it's all good now. Yeah, I'm locked in now.
Yeah. Who does Devin Haney beat at 135 now that you've seen this fight?
Listen, to be honest, now, according to me, if he vacates all the belts, I'll be happy for him, and nobody's gonna call him a thing that he's ducking Kambosos. So that goes in the bin. There will be idiots that will say he's ducking Kambosos. He doesn't want to have a rematch because blah 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 blah. The usual excuses that they come up with. So unless he gets the 2 fights I want to see him in, first Lomachenko, secondly maybe Tank and Ryan, put them together. So the winner of that versus Devin Haney. If not, then Lomachenko. Other than that, he shouldn't fight anyone. He should just move up to 140 and start from ground zero. Bro, you're only 23 and you had 27 fights so far. Take a chill. Nobody's gonna call. Exactly, that's my whole point. So you go down there to 140 and fight Barrios, no problem. At 140, fight these lower class people. Build yourself up. Once one of the titles go vacant, then fight for it. He should take at least 2 to 3 years on a layback at 140, so he can climatize to that weight, so he can get his proper manpower, and then he can demolish at 140 and even move up to 147. I'm talking about a long time ahead. He needs to think that he probably has about 10 more years, if I'm not wrong, 10 more years in the game for sure.
Who? Devin Haney?
Devin Haney, 10 more years.
10 more years?
Maximum.
Yeah,
him in boxing.
But
he's only 23. Up to 33, he can go. He should go and fight up to 33, 34. He has time. So he should take his time fighting at 140 because he needs to think of it like in the long term now. Because he's become undisputed. He's put his name in the book. Nobody can say shit to him. He's dominant at 135. Nobody wanted to fight him. He moved up to 140. He's climatizing to the weight. After three fights within 2 or 1.5 or 2 years, and then go for the belts at 140. That's what I believe he should do.
Correct.
What do you guys think?
100%. That's exactly what I was saying. So spend the next 1 to 2 years, climatizing, getting some tune-up fights, then look to challenge for titles. Then he'll be like 25 in 2 years. So he'll still be super young. He'll still be super young, man.
I think who does he beat at 140? Because with the boxing skills that he's got. Because we write off Teofimo Lopez and be like, there's killers.
Currently, I'll be honest, no matter how much I like him, currently, because they're killers at 140. Jack Cattrall, Josh Taylor, Regis Prograis, even Teofimo Lopez just sense.
Yeah.
Jose Zapata. The big fights
Montana
out
Love,
there.
Subriel
Yeah,
Matias, all these
Montana
guys,
Love
you know what I mean?
coming
Like,
up
Subriel
at
Matias,
140 is
are
a big.
very,
He needs to take his time at 140. Whoever's managing him, Bill Haney, if you're listening, please, bro, take your time with this guy because he's a true champion. He has the heart, and he has proven that he has the heart. You can't hate him. He went up there to the thing. Even if he vacates now, doesn't fight Kambosos, he doesn't need to. He won 10 rounds out of 12. So he has nothing to prove to anyone. He's the undisputed for a reason. Yeah, the Tank and those fights, if they didn't want to fight him this far now, unless I
No,
hope they
because
fight
it's
him next at
promotional,
130.
cross-promotional.
Exactly. It won't happen even this next Ryan Garcia, now that Tank is with Top Rank. He's locked in a contract. I think 2 more fights he has to have with Top Rank.
Tank's not with
And
Top
Lou
Rank.
DiBella. Am I correct?
Tank's not with Top
No,
Rank.
he's with Lou DiBella.
Tank.
He signed to it. I think these 2. He has 3 fights on his contract.
You mean Ryan? You mean
Not
Devin?
Tank, sorry, Devin Haney.
You mean Devin?
Not
You mean
Tank.
Devin?
Haney.
Oh, and I'm talking about Devin Haney. Now that,
yeah,
I meant Devin Haney. He has 3. What's it called?
He's got
No,
2
it's
more
2 more
fights.
fights. It's 3-fight deal.
He'll go back to Eddie.
He has 2 more fights on the deal. Yeah, he doesn't even need to go. As much as I like Eddie Hearn, as much as I love
It's
Eddie
better
Hearn,
to
no,
stay with Top
he
Rank, you reckon?
shouldn't, because
Do you think
all
it's better to stay
other
at Top
fights
Rank?
are not at 140.
They're not with Eddie. Yeah.
He should stay there with Top Rank and do his thing.
You're cutting in and out, I think. Is it me? Yeah. I think so. What other things did I want to talk about with Devin Haney? What do you think about that, Kenny? Devin Haney beating the 135ers and at 140. Does he fare well?
I think there's a massive fight for him at 135. In terms of Loma, but in terms of who used to fight Garcia
Who beats him?
and
Does Loma beat him, or does he beat Loma?
I think Loma beats him because Loma's just got Loma will propose bigger problems than George Kambosos did. Like, for instance, if Loma would have no problem trying to get on the front foot and trying to take the fight with him, and if Loma does and Devin Haney allows that, then I can see him getting taken apart. Don't see him getting stopped, but I can see him losing quite widely by points. So if Devin Haney is going to fight Loma, my advice would to be with him, use that reach advantage and pop out that jab, mate, and keep popping it out and don't take any rests. If you do that, then you've got a good chance of causing an upset. But if you do, have one of you breathers, you're gonna get taken apart because Loma's one of those fighters.
Like I said, he should have.
Go ahead, Ken. Go ahead.
In terms of fighting them, the thing with Tank and Garcia, they got big punches, but would Devin Haney be stupid enough to engage with them? I don't think so. He doesn't engage with them, and he falls step mistakes. Yeah, they say he's got pillow fist. I get that, but I've seen many a big
whose dog is that? Mute your mic because that dog's getting on my nerves. Whoever's got a dog in the background,
it's my dog. I'm going to tell him to shut up. Don't worry.
Oh, is it your dog, Kenny?
Your dog. Let me finish what I'm saying. I'm going to shut him up.
Sorry. I thought it was
no.
It sounded like it was outside. Someone was outside.
No, see, sorry. But before I shut him up, what I would say is that at 140, there's too many big guys for him. Too many big fighters. Although
at 140,
I do think, personally, though, I do think that ironically, I could see Lopez going to 140 anyway. So if he fights
Lopez
at 140,
is already at 140. He's already there. Lopez is already there.
Lopez
already
back.
Yeah, but Lomachenko said he's at 135. He's not going to do any more than 135. Lomachenko already said that.
That's a potential fight, isn't it? Him and Lopez at 140.
At 140, that would be a good fight. I think Lopez wants to stop Haney for some reason.
You'll never know. You never know because there's certain fighters at 140 who make mistakes. For instance, obviously the undisputed at 140 is Josh Taylor. But I'm sorry, if you fight with your hands down, you're going to get taken apart.
Not anymore.
By good fighters.
Not anymore. You're just unified.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's that? You know, Josh Taylor at
Josh Taylor, yeah, 140.
Yeah. Yeah, 140. But if Tank went up to 140, we say hypothetically fight Josh Taylor, I'll give Tank a chance because Josh Taylor doesn't defend himself. His hands are too low for my liking.
And Devin does brave defense kind of Jack Catterall.
His head off. Yeah, that's it.
With dipping down low. And
as a matter of fact, you know what I noticed about Devin in that Kambosos fight? Like, as the rounds went on and he kind of got into his groove, he dropped his hands a bit.
Yeah, which is not the best.
Yeah, so he's gonna have to be mindful of that if he moves up and he's fighting all these punchers.
Will
knock
you out on that one. Yeah, Kenny, your dog must have heard us. Your dog was like, all right. I'm just gonna shut.
That's what I think. You know, when it comes to
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go on, Swab.
Yeah, so basically, I was saying, can you guys hear me properly?
Yeah.
So what I was saying, the two fights that I want to see him in personally, and I think even for the casuals, going to be big, massive fights, is him versus Lomachenko, and either Tank / the winner. The Tank and Ryan has to fight each other to deserve fighting Devin Haney, because both of them don't deserve it right now. That's the way I see it in my eyes. So if them two don't fight each other, they don't get to fight Devin Haney. So it's going to be currently only Lomachenko. So Lomachenko and Devin Haney's fight, the way I see it going, is a very 50-50 fight.
Yeah.
If Lomachenko lands on Haney, I don't know what could happen. But I don't see Devin Haney either outboxing Lomachenko, because he has speed, he has the movement, he has angles. And Devin Haney, defensively, he's sound, he's good. But that's why I mean it's 50. That fight can go either way. I can't pick anyone when it comes to that fight. Other than that, at 140, please just take it easy, bro. You start from ground zero, the bin man, the Uber drivers, and slowly start making your way up to the CEOs. Start fighting them. After that, you can fight the champions once you climatize to the weight.
Yeah. Go ahead, guys. Sorry, I was just doing something on the lappy. Is there any other points that you want to bring up about the fight, that fight in particular? And do you feel that's what I was going to ask? Do you feel like the Australian government was really trying to fuck with them?
It's possible.
To be honest, the way I see whatever this went through, Devin Haney, he went to Australia without his dad. He's fighting literally, he doesn't have his trainer, he doesn't have his cut man, and it's like a movie to me, you know what I mean? Going to his enemy's territory, doing it in his backyard, literally alone, with one hype man, you know what I mean? Other than that, who did he have? But then, luckily, I don't know what changed, and then Bill Haney could come in, but his cut man got left behind. So this is like a proper movie thing. Movie scene is like you can make the second Creed based on this on this scenario of Kambosos and Haney. What do you guys think? I saw the video of Bill Haney on Twitter, him coming in. Who was he saying it to? I think Kambosos' dad. They go, you guys are talking shit. I'm here now for my son. That was a gangster. I swear down. I got so hyped. Like his dad coming in to save his son or something. Like literally, that was a movie. Literally, like from a movie scene.
I mean that's why I say it's possible, because he couldn't get in the country. Then literally at the 11th hour, now he comes. He shows. You know what I mean? That he's allowed to get in. You know what I mean?
On the day of the fight. On the day of the
I feel like
a couple hours before that.
Yeah, but he couldn't come before.
This is my opinion. Yeah, they probably was messing with him, and then his cut man couldn't get in or whatever, held at customs. But if the stars was aligned and that was his destiny, which it was, he got the nod. So I always felt like there's always a higher power.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got all these people working against you, but then there's always a supreme power.
Exactly, Lisa. And the funny thing is, the judges could not rob it from him even if they wanted to. There was no way. They tried their best. Yeah, because he made it so dominant. 2 rounds out of the 12 rounds, bro. Devin Haney won 10 rounds. Even the second round was a swing round, but he give it to Kambosos probably because he landed the harder punches in that round. And the 12th round he won because Devin Haney knew he had it in the bag, which was wrong. The way I see, he shouldn't have done that even in the 12th. But whatever it was, he can't do that if he's fighting someone like a Lomachenko or a Tank. He can't have any rounds off. He can't. But even though he had the 12, because he knew he had a dominant fight and he won all the rounds. He can't. But even though he had the 12.
Sorry, that was me. Go ahead.
That's all I had to say, man. I'm happy for him. I'm excited. Like, this is literally a movie scene. The one thing I'm always gonna remember about this fight is Bill Haney walking in the thing through the airport, passing through the airport, and him talking shit. That scene, I don't think I'm ever gonna forget that video.
That was epic. I did get goosebumps.
Yep. But Chan, like, also this also reminds me of how, like, when you asked like were they messing with Devin Haney, like if they were to kind of remember how Team Khan was fucking with Kell Brook before their fight, he told, and it didn't matter. Kell still got in there and beat the shit out of him.
Exactly.
He did.
But this one had a better impact because Khan and I forgot his name. We were just talking about. So bad with names.
I'm gonna do a poll. Do you guys want to see a rematch? That's what I'm gonna say. Do you guys?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. I'll vote right away.
Yeah.
No. See, I guarantee you it's gonna be 100% no.
You never know. We got to see who's in here because you never know.
Like, if somebody votes yes, I want to know who it is in the chat. They need to tell us. Like, I'm serious.
Yeah, tell us. Please tell us why do you want to see a second fight? What difference can Kambosos make in a couple months? What can he change in his game plan? Please let us know.
Please let us know. Please, yeah. Hell, I'm gonna put hell no. Hell no. And then I'll put yes. Yes. Okay. Ask the community. Let's see what you guys have to say. Let's see. I really want to know what these lot are. Yeah, go on. Get your votes in from now. Get your votes in from now. Yeah. Because for me, I won't sway the votes. You guys, I think you guys already know how many how I feel about this, to be honest.
Well, it's a no from me. It's a no from me.
It's a no from you. It's a no from you. Is it a no from a lot of people? Even in the chat. Just put
There's
it
a yes. There's a yes. There's a couple yeses.
I know.
Who's that? Who's that, bro? Hey, name yourself so we can shame you.
Do it on the poll. Yeah.
Somebody voted yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I gotta know who that is.
What part of Greece of Australia are they from?
Yeah, they're either from Greece or Australia.
Yeah, it's probably they're probably a Kambosos fan.
Yeah, you have
want to see it again. You
got probably Kambosos himself.
Yeah,
probably Kambosos and
he's in the chat under an alias.
But didn't he reenact the rematch clause?
No, well, not officially. Not officially.
He said he was, but not officially yet. He said he was, but not officially.
Yeah.
Okay.
He did what kind of like what Canelo did at the press conference. He talked about wanting to do the rematch, and then when it came to do it, he hasn't exercised it. So as you can see, he's fighting Triple G. Stephen T, thank you. A round of applause. I didn't. Did I acknowledge you ever being a member? I've just seen it.
Oh no, he's not a QPR fan.
You the super chat one. Thanks for becoming a member, Stephen. Massively appreciated.
Oh, Stephen voted yes. He voted yes.
Oh, you, Stephen, you did it. Yeah, Stephen voted yes. Why not? Worst fights to see. I highly doubt we'll see another top name next. So let's have it. Haney fan for years. So you wouldn't see that, yeah. Because I just think that he'll beat him again so comprehensively. It's just like, I don't think that there's anything that Kambosos can do to change the outcome. But like you said, maybe some things better. But I don't know if he
Stephen T.
can. Yeah,
Sorry,
change
ladies,
the
man.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, Stephen T. He's a QPR fan. You know, like that part of West London. You know, like Shepherd's Bush.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Australian themed pubs there. Now, Stephen, are you an Aussie?
No,
Are you a
he's a
QPR
Devin
fan?
Haney
Aussie?
fan. He's a Devin
Oh,
Haney
he's a Devin Haney
fan.
fan, but yeah, but he's a Devin Haney fan.
No.
But is he an Aussie as well? Because you know, around Shepherd's Bush,
No.
there's a lot of pubs around there. QPR Australian pubs around there, so he could be both.
Yeah, I know, but no, are you? No, I don't think he is. No, I just think he's just a Devin Haney fan from the UK. But I don't know if he. Maybe. Are you a Devin Haney fan from Australia? I don't think. Yeah, he's a London. Nah, yeah, I know. Yeah, he's a Londoner. I said, nah, it's not
Oh,
Australian.
right.
There's not many Devin Haney Australian fans. I'll tell you that. Maybe now after pulling, because I see a lot of them started to gravitate towards him and respect him because you have to, because of how
He's Australian, aren't he? He's up from Australia.
Yeah, I think the Australian media respect Devin Haney a lot more. Especially at the post-fight presser. I see them. I don't think that Kambosos was humble in defeat as much as he's trying to make it out to be. I don't. You just know tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow it's all going to be when you see. Yeah, go ahead, Swab.
I was saying we haven't spoken anything about like before the fight in the weigh-in. What the fuck was that? You missed weight, and then after you got out of deception, who the fuck did you deceive? Yourself?
You didn't make weight, and that was key
Bro,
to me.
You didn't make weight. Give me 3 ounces or whatever it was. I don't care. You missed weight, bro.
So I never bought into that. That was BS. That was BS,
Well,
man.
and afterwards, he comes down by literally one, I think 1 lb. How?
You know the thing that I remember about. Sorry, Swab. You know one thing I remember about the weighing, right? Was him not making weight, and they said, right, because anyone got a towel? And you know the woman who's an official from, I think one of the, I don't know if she's from the WEC. She obviously she has to check the weight, but you know when he took his towel off, she had this sort of red book, and she had to, you know what I mean? She couldn't look, you know what I mean? That's what I'm going to take away from the fight was the official who had to check the weight.
He had his hand there as well.
As soon as they said, if anyone got a towel, she had to get the red book and just do this.
Yeah.
And promise try not to look. I'm sure there wasn't much to see anyway. I'm sure there wasn't much to see anyway.
I wonder how men feel like that when they have to strip down to the towel in front of the people that can see.
That had me in stitches.
It's soul destroying to do that, or is it because when there's women officials, or who cares, or is it a who cares?
He can't do a Shannon Courtney and put it down to a period, could he?
Yeah, no.
He's a diva after all. That was a good one.
He bitched up pretty much during the beginning of this. He could have. He bitched up on that in the promo of this fight. I really
lost a lot of ratings
for George Kambosos of just how he turned into a straight bitch for the lead up of this. He turned into one of the most.
And I really liked him before as well. Before the Teofimo Lopez fight,
he was a good guy.
I liked him. He was very sound. He was very humble.
Yeah. I didn't mind him.
What happens, bro? After same thing with Teofimo Lopez, nice, humble kid. But as he wins them belts, he becomes a dick. Same thing with Kambosos, and then after he becomes a dick.
Literally, George just had me rolling with how he just kept saying like he had to climb the mountain and how nobody helped him and how I made this happen and oh God, I struggled for so long and like, dude, what are you doing? Are you giving like an Emmy Award winning speech every single time? Like my guy.
He's fast.
Yeah, and the acting was just ridiculous. Like, why are you acting, bro? That's not you. You're not tough. Stop acting tough.
Yeah, that's why Devin Haney said it to him. Yeah, stop acting. Like, just be your fucking self, man. Fucking annoying.
And plus, he didn't have anything.
Hey,
He didn't. Sorry, one second. He didn't have anything else to say afterwards. It was Bill Haney and Devin Haney, I think, in the locker room. I saw a video, and he's telling him, "Bro, drop the rat shit." And then Bill Haney asked him, "Well, where the fuck did you get this thing from? Who told you to say it? Who's that guy? His manager, Khan." He goes, "Did he tell you to say it?" And then he didn't have nothing to say. He was quiet. He didn't even mention anything.
Fuck all to say, did he?
Exactly. He didn't say anything about it. His mouth was shut.
By the way, like also now that it's over, I really hope George stops wearing turtlenecks and trench coats. Like
I think he's the equalizer.
Yeah. He really thinks he's a secret agent or some shit.
I thought he was Edward Woodward in the building. He thought he was
No, he thinks he's Tommy from I think
he thinks he's
Peaky Blinders.
He thinks it's some movie or some shit. I don't know what the hell he's doing. Like
awful.
I wonder did he wear that shit before the TO fight? Was he dressing like that?
No, he didn't really have the money like that at that time. I think he's up a bit when he got that pay pack from
He made 10 million for this fight.
Yeah.
10 million. I want to see the pay-per-view number. That's a lot of money, bro. There's 13 million for that fight. Did they make that much?
Yeah. For this fight, I'm not sure. I think, how much did he get for this fight? I'm not sure. I know Devin was what?
Devin got 2.8 and George got 10.
For this fight, George got 10 million.
10 million, yeah.
But George would have taken a cut of the gate. He would have taken a cut of the ticket, the gate at the
he gave the TV
stadium.
rights, like all that stuff and everything. Yeah, man, he got paid, man.
Oh, I didn't know he got fucking.
Did they? You think they made that fight? Was it on pay-per-view in America? It was, wasn't
not
it?
out here. It was on ESPN.
No, it wasn't.
No,
it wasn't.
No.
Yeah, no, we didn't pay.
But only in Australia.
No.
Yeah, but it was a good time zone, though.
No, it was on Fox. It was Fox in Australia.
It wasn't.
It was on regular.
It was on regular.
It was on regular.
Oh, so the government put the money up then. The taxman paid for it. I mean, people, taxes paid for it.
Thank you, ESPN.
Yeah, no, you're not Australia.
Regular.
Yeah. I mean, thanks. The government paid for it. So, okay.
Well, no, the Victorian, not the Australian government. It'd be because in Australia they have different states. And they all run their own particular states. So it would be the Victorian government who would have put on the fight and given the permission for the stadium to be used, and also they would have, did all the hospitality, everything, and they would have had a cut of the gate. So so he would have got his cut because I think in Melbourne, around those sort of sides, they have the bigger stadiums in Australia as opposed to where he's from in Sydney. So in Melbourne, they got the football grounds holds about 90,000. Obviously, they didn't have it at the MCG, but they had it at the Malvern, which holds about 58,000. So that's why it's imperative that he had to go to Melbourne, Victoria. So that's where he would have made his money from.
Thank you, guys. All right,
Australia is very big on cricket and rugby.
1 second on the poll. You guys, please try not to talk over me when I'm trying to talk. On the poll, so hell no, 74%, yes, 26% so far. So we've got more for the hell no so far. I don't know how many people voted. 27 votes. There it goes. We would like to see more of you lot voting if you can. I'll put it on my community as well, actually, and see what
people have some weird taste. Then more
people saying what we're said. To be honest, hell
honestly,
no.
Honestly, if the rematch happens, sorry, Chance.
It's all right. No, go ahead.
No, I'm saying honestly, if we get the rematch, I'd still watch it just for the sole fact I'm a boxing fan.
Yeah,
that's it.
Right.
So
I'd still watch it anyway because we're fans of boxing, so we still watch it. But do we want it? No, we're not.
No.
We don't want it. Right, and then go on. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm saying whoever wants to rematch, say aye. Yep, there we go. All right. Problem solved.
Well, I'll say this. We already knew it was going to rematch. We already knew it was going to be a rematch, so I assumed it was going to be that.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So I can't really.
Yeah. But why is this? Are they saying? Why is Bob making it like it? And even Devin alluded to the fact, like, well, we'll see what it is if what we want to do, because he got asked, will he just move up now? Well, I'll see. I'll speak to my team. I thought he was locked on that he had to have a rematch.
That's what we
They're
thought,
on
but
Aussie soil.
we don't know the contract. But the thing is that Bob wants to get Loma in there to get them belts. Trust me.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Unless Bob is shading what's his name? DeBella, I don't know.
Yeah.
But if it's contracted, then it's yeah. We don't know with these snakes. We don't know.
Yeah.
They'll
And
be
Kenny?
Stephen's money.
Kenny? Yeah, I was just going to ask you. Go ahead.
I think the thing is that when you're in Bob said something that I actually agree with him on, is that, you know, when I'm talking about Bill Haney, you know, getting his visa, he says that, you know, when you're in someone else's country, you've got to respect their views. And I think, you know, I don't think it's particularly appropriate for Bob Arum and Devin Haney to basically, you know, express their true feelings about a rematch on Australian soil. I think when they get back to the US, I think you'll hear a different tone of voice and a different message come from regarding the rematch. But whilst they're on Australian soil, where, let's face it, the Victorian government have bent over backwards to get the dad into you know, Melbourne, I think that, you know, they will keep their counsel. But, you know, body language is very shouts, and it sounded like a thunderclap to me when Devin Haney and Bob Arum basically said no, we didn't want the rematch, but they didn't want to express that on Australian soil.
Yeah, I don't think it should have to be, but we was just told that it does before. Like Lisa said, so we don't know what's really in that bloody contract. I have no clue at this point, to be honest.
It's going to need a lot of selling. It's going to need more than George. You know, George saying that, you know, all I needed is one chance and I could have got to him. There's got to be some really big sellers, and, you know, Bob's got to be part of that reselling it. You know, they got to try, and because the only way that rematch makes any sense if it's in the same sort of stadium. But, you know, I only have to go back. I know I'm repeating myself, but the first 7 rounds, the crowd in the stadium was completely quiet, quiet. And you know, it's like a football thing. You know, say if I was a manager, you know, what do you say when you go into an intimidating away ground? Silence the crowd. That's what Devin Haney did. He silenced the Australian crowd.
Yeah, I think
You know what I mean?
he's come away with more. Do you think he comes away with? Do you remember that? Do you remember that troll, Cole Hanson? Aha, trolling everybody, talking about and being a piece of shit. I hope you're eating the pieces of shit that
Did he
comes out
come
your
on?
ass.
Was he on the panel? Did he come on the panel once?
No, he's just been a dick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's just been a dick all his fucking life, you know. And then it's just a trolling dick that's from panel to panel. Some Australian lads is a dick. That's all you need. And I hope you're listening, you dick. Yeah.
Oh, you picked Kambosos, huh?
Let me stick to cricket.
Being rude and disrespectful and trolling myself as well. Trolling myself and being a dick. Yeah. So yeah.
Did he accuse us? So did he accuse us of? Did an Australian guy accuse us of praising the black fighters too much?
No,
I don't know,
basically.
but, you know,
yeah, basically to them vibes as well. Yeah, so he's blocked on my channel.
Yeah.
I've seen him on other.
Look,
I've seen him on other channels.
You know what it is, right? LadyChann. I think, you know, obviously we get in our country. Obviously, I don't know what it's like in the United States for AJ and Lisa Bales, but in England, what we have here is that there's a lot of our casual fans are actually football fans. So sometimes when they're behind the fight, you hear the football songs. You know, and if their fighter loses, they leave without seeing them, you know, the hand getting raised, or sometimes they punch up. So, you know, it's got to be the same in Australia, where again, the thing is that you can't invite the casuals into your living room and expect them to not eat with their hands, and ask them to eat with knife and fork if they're paying a lot of rent in your living room.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't think he was a casual though.
That's
what comes across it. Well, maybe what came across it sounded like it. No, maybe he was. Maybe you're right. Yeah, no, actually, upon further review, no, he probably was. Yeah, Yeah, I'm just not respecting the people that just can't respect that Devin won fair and square,
Yeah.
and there has to be some like kind of like a smear because George Kambosos tried to don't get it twisted. He tried to do a smear campaign on Devin Haney.
Mm-hmm.
That's why
Yeah.
that's why I'm not feeling sorry for him, because if you remember, Devin Haney was a snitch. He was a rat. He was that. Everyone was chanting rat, snitch to Devin Haney. He tried some really below the belt tactics that was really horrible. And maybe it was all because he feared Devin Haney. He knew that his belts were going. He would have been, imagine if he would have fought Loma first then. His belts would have gone anyway, regardless, wouldn't they have?
Oh yeah. I had Loma stopping George and taking the
Oh
belts back.
yeah. He wouldn't have did no smear campaign on him though.
Nope.
No, that's what
Oh hell
ain't
no.
it. Ain't it? Yeah, he
Well,
wouldn't have. I was
he
thinking,
would have lost. He would have lost the fight before the belt, because I think that he would have probably respected him too much, and I think that that's why he wouldn't have done any kind of spin campaign. But I think what's happening right is that after he won the Battle of the Wills with the Lopez family, the only way he was ever going to get himself heated up for the fight was to disrespect Devin Haney. Like Devin Haney was even accused him in the build up of being scared, being afraid, and that's why he was acting up. It's like he's got a big crowd in front of him. Go on, George, hit him, George, knock him out, George. Home advantage. He wanted to maximise his home advantage. He wanted to make it as uncomfortable as he can for Devin Haney. Because although he wanted Devin Haney's dad there, he wanted Devin Haney to feel, oh no, I just need to get out of here. I don't, put him off his game plan. That's what he was going to do. But it didn't work. Didn't work at the weigh-in. Didn't work in the fight itself. As soon as Devin Haney took the center of the ring and started jabbing his head off, he knew he was in a fight. I think he probably knew in the first round that he ain't winning this. Fighters know. Fighters know that. I think with boxers know their limitations. All the boxers, right? All the boxers within the stables, they're all close. They're all buddies. They're all trained together. They all spy each other. They know who's good and who's not good. Who's not? You know what I mean? They know. They accept that certain fighters are better than them.
they know it.
But,
they know who's that style
I think
matchup.
that's what. Yeah, I think what the public.
Hang on, you cutting up, Ken?
Oh, he froze again.
Ken, you froze again. You pork chop.
I'd like just to carry on what he was saying right now.
You go ahead, Gage.
Yeah, that's why Ryan won't fight Devin. That's why he's never wanted that fight.
Stylistically, is it a bad one?
It's a bad matchup. Yeah, it is. And honestly, they're already familiar with each other because they fought in the amateurs. So, several times. So, so, and now as pros, it's a different ball game. And then it's just, I don't know. I mean, but.
Because they know each other from the amateurs. A lot of these boxers have already fought each other in the amateurs, haven't they?
Oh, yeah. So they're
they
very
know who's who and who's to stay away from, and I guess, I guess. Well, and we're not going to see certain of the fights that we really want to see.
No, we're not.
No, we're not. Ken, because we're going to just come back to say, and so we can shout out to the panel. We had Sawab. Let me just give Sawab a round of applause. He did have to drop a thanks, Sawab. Thank you, Sawab, for coming through. He's in the building. Yeah. Go ahead,
Sawab?
Yeah.
By the way, this is not the weekly wrap-up show, is it? Or is that still coming?
Yeah, this is the weekly wrap-up
show. Okay, you're doing it today. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
Okay, I thought because of Devin's thingy, I'd do it today. So, because it's fresh on, and, everyone's
got you.
Like thingy, so I thought pay it some homage.
I think he's from.
Go ahead, Liz.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Liz.
I think he's from California, so Ryan Haney. I mean, Sia, right?
San Diego or California, one of them, isn't he, sis? Sis, hello?
Lisa?
Lisa's gone off. Sorry, Ken. No, it's okay, Swab. It's fine.
He's from Cali. He's from Cali. I just checked. He's from Cali.
Yeah, he's in Cali. Yeah. Yeah, he lives in he lives in California. Yeah. So what was you saying before you fell off, Ken? Yeah, bad day for everyone.
No,
So I
I'll
know
just
internet.
no. What I was just saying is that box. I think some of us obviously we consider ourselves people who are in the boxing community because that's all we live and breathe boxing. I think what the public who watch these shows and casuals don't realise is the boxing community is tiny. Everyone knows each other. They've all trained together. They've all sparred with each other and got each other ready for fights. They know the levels. They know the levels, and they're the best judges and juries of their abilities. They know they've got to sell the fight. They know that boxing's a bit like WWE at times, but George knows. George knew from that first round that this was a maths exam, with a bit of trigonometry, geometry that he just couldn't figure out from the first round. I could tell from the first round how the fight was going to go because in the way he hit him with a jab, and George couldn't get anywhere. And look at George, look at George's face. That shows a guy who got hit in the head a lot. And you look at his right eye. That was the punch I was talking about where he jabbed him, and I'm sure the guy saw stars because it was sharp. It was like a hammer.
It was a power jab. At times he knows how to, have it at different intensities. But there was definitely the head whipping back snaps that when I was like, guys, there was some lethal jabs, and then there was, Devin's really good with his jab. Like I said, he's multi-storied with his jab. Upstairs, middle, downstairs, basement. Well, not too much of the basement, but but downstairs he mixes it up, and he's really good with his jab. I think a lot of people do mention Devin Haney's jab on how good his jab is, and fair play to the lad, mate. I think it is what it is once you understand what Devin Haney's how he fights.
I think in boxing,
Sorry,
sorry to cut you. Is that we put so much currency on a person's on like what we call it's a knockout punch. We put a lot of currency on Dillian White's left hook. We put a lot of currency on like Anthony Joshua's uppercut. We put a lot of currency on
Oh, no, again. Ken, you better get on to Sky for real. Sky is not your friend.
They keep trapping him, man.
But look what happened to me. But it was my laptop. So you're right. I don't know what's happened today. We've got really bad weather here today. It's really rained out.
The Wi-Fi out there is
okay. That'll do it.
It could be,
that'll do it.
Yeah, it could be that's the reason, Ken. That could, even backstage he's still frozen. When you see the frozen, it just busses me up. Yeah, Ken, come do it and get back. I think it's because of the rain. But go ahead. Yeah.
No, I'm saying but I think just a win like this and this overall occasion will be a huge boost to Devin's maturity. Just at such a young age, him going overseas to Australia, becoming undisputed at such a young age. I'm really looking forward to see what else he does in the future. I really am. Because we flash forward 2, 3, 5 years, he'll be older, but he'll still be a young man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he will be, and it'll be interesting to see where he goes from it. Kenny Ken, your Wi-Fi busses me up. Our Wi-Fi has not been a great Wi-Fi day, but I'm going to give you the floor just to say what you need to say. Because we're going to finish up. So, go ahead. You go first, Kenny Ken. And anything that you want to say, wrap up on this topic.
What I am going to say on this topic is,
go ahead.
There was a comment about franchises. There was a comment about franchises, and as we see, Daniel Dubois is fighting Trevor Bryan for a franchise WBA title. So, that's a fight that it's going to be on BT Sport. So stay up for it. And also, this weekend.
When's that?
If you guys, that's going to be in the
When's
United
the
States, isn't it?
fight?
The
Oh
Saturday.
yeah, it's in America, isn't it? Is it Saturday
What
next
fight is it?
weekend?
What fight is it?
Brian versus Dubois for the
Oh yeah,
WBA
I'm watching that. I want to see that.
title.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah. Also, if any of you guys are interested as well, Boxer have got a show this Saturday with Richard Rackenpour, and it's going
Richard
to be
Riakporhe.
I think it's going to be
Yeah.
Riakporhe, and we also got a debut of Lauren Price,
Yeah, the
professional
Olympian.
debut.
Yeah.
Olympian gold medalist. So
yeah, is that this next weekend, Kenny?
This Saturday, next Saturday coming.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a little bit of my promotion, but you know, this summer is going to be like some biggish fights. But the fight I'm looking forward to is I really, really pray that Ali Joshua beats Usyk. I'm really, really pray for him.
And actually, can I just shout out?
That's going to be
shouts out to Joe Cordina. KO of the motherfucking year.
Definitely a candidate. Yeah, that rivals the Michael Conley. That rivals the Lee Wood knockout. Yeah.
It rivals.
Yeah, that was sick. Yeah.
I couldn't believe that happened because I was just going.
I thought Cabal was going to knock him out. I'm sorry, Joe.
I was picking Ogawa as well. I think everybody out here was picking him.
It's strange because we ain't seen him.
I think I'd seen Cordina fight once before, and nothing really stood out to me. Really,
he's good. He's an Olympian.
Yeah,
he's good. He's technically sound, but I mean, and he's
he's okay.
nice
He's decent.
to watch box, but I mean, I haven't seen him pass like British European level, so I didn't expect him to do this.
I thought a guy would be just a step up too much, a step too far until that happened, and I'm like, so much for what I thought.
Yeah, we got to give him.
Sometimes Eddie gets it right, Eddie does get it right occasionally. He does.
Don't be a hater. Eddie's cards were. I've been good. Where's old Frankie boy's cards?
See. People want to say, Eddie doesn't know
what he's doing. Saturday. Find that next Saturday.
Has he got one on Saturday?
Well, he's Dubois and Brian, isn't it?
Oh yeah, he's got the Dubois thing.
How's the undercard looking for that? Looking for that? Anybody know? Like,
why? If he had the biggest fight for the year so far, and that undercard was super trash, what do you think this one's going to be like?
Yeah, dumb question. Yeah, I'm not even going to think about it.
It's just going to be really bad. It's going to be budget. It's all going to look budget as well. I hate BT shows. They always look budget, man.
Always. The main fighters, they split $10 million a piece. Then the co-main, they get $5. Everybody else gets 20 cents.
$5.
That's me saying, like, they're underpaid. You know what I mean?
I thought you meant $5 million. I was like,
that's them on a budget. That's them on a budget. Yeah, that's them on a budget.
Hey, guys.
Yeah. One gets $1 for lunch.
Guys, talking about cards, I heard that the card in Australia was terrible as well.
It was.
It wasn't that great.
It was trash.
Like, they had something called, they even had fights after the main event. Like, I've never seen that before.
I know it's down under.
I have.
Down under. They just did everything backwards, like the main event, and then they had another fight after the main event. Who does that? And they had a 5-rounder.
Was the crowd empty?
Yeah,
Did anybody even stay?
We've been to that. We used to do that in England about 10 or 12 years ago, where it has been known for not so much under Eddie, but it was the Hennessy's and Frank Warren after the main event. Sometimes the fights they can't fit in, they kind of when the TV cameras switch off, they do have another fight that gets on the highlights. So it has happened. Me and the wife are witnesses to that. But we stopped doing that about 10 years ago now in England.
I mean, it's like if it was me, I just saw my hometown guy lose. I'm going home. I'm not sticking around after that. Like what do I need to stay for?
Using the neighbour's Wi-Fi. Sorry, Ben Adams said you're using the neighbour's Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi jacker.
No, I'm not. This is lockdown. This is like lockdown when I'm appearing on GMTV. I'm on one of the best boxing podcasts ever.
And then look what happens, Kenny. It's Sky. Sky, they've sent you moon Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
You're a bit too far away. It's not Sky, it's moon. It's intergalactic Wi-Fi.
You know what?
Yeah,
I'm gonna blame the rain. It's the rain.
yeah, I think it's the rain as well because it's affected both me and you. It affected me, yeah. But I think it's the rain. I got BT's Wi-Fi, fiber optics, whatever. I don't think it's all that.
No, it's the
I
rain.
think
It's the rain.
Yes, it's definitely the rain. But shouts out to Joe Cordino. Shouts out to the card was all right. I enjoyed Eddie's card. We'll be on standby, guys. We will have we're gonna have David Morrell in the new WBA super middleweight regular champion of the world. We're gonna have him.
You're interviewing him?
No, he's not franchise. He's not franchise.
Can you interviewing David?
Yeah, David's gonna. Yeah, I put it out today saying that. David, did you not see it?
Oh no, I did not catch it. Sorry.
Yeah, did a little news flash. Yeah,
I thought Canelo was a super.
no, I said regular.
Oh, regular. Okay.
Yeah. So he'll be in the building. But Coach Ronnie Shields will be here on Wednesday as well with some good updates. Some Jamal Charlo updates. Some good ones actually. So stand by. Guys, if you haven't clicked on that join members thing, I'm thinking of that. I'll probably do live. Then I may private it. Then just give it to our little handful of members, and everybody else will have to wait. I'll see. But I'll see. But yeah, so we've got them coming in the buildings in at some point. So Dubai going to put Trevor Bright to sleep. I believe so as well. So let me give everyone a round of applause. Thank you, Kenny Ken, for a bit in the buildings. And Lisa, is there anything that you want to say? Sorry, sis. Lastly, anything that you want to pound it up on?
Just congratulations to Devin Haney and for clearing that, franchise thing up.
Yeah.
That's
AJ?
it.
Thanks, sis. AJ, one last bits and pieces?
Oh yeah, a couple things. Yep, congrats to Devin. Yeah, Chan, one last one. Can you blow up that pic right quick that I put up? Yeah, just so everybody can get a good look at that. Just my display pic. Yeah.
He's playing back on his private jet.
All right. Yeah. So congrats to Devin. Did his thing out in Australia. Can't wait to see what he does next. And also, just one last comment on the Dubois Brian fight. I want Dubois to win, and I'm picking him, but I just think it's going to be hilarious if he does lose because it's another blow to Frank.
Dubois better not lose. Not to know Trevor Bryant, mate.
Nah, but plus he's been with Shane McGuigan for a while now, so hopefully, he done picked up a few things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he's done all right under the tutelage of Shane McGuigan so far, and so is
even though his fights haven't gone long, like he's been with him for a while now.
So is Lawrence Coley. Yeah, they've done well under him. Salute, heavy lefty. Salute to the sister Lisa too. Real intelligent fight fan. Yes, she is. Heavy lefty said you're heavy lefty.
Thank you. Thank you, heavy lefty.
Heavy lefty in
and
the
you
room.
And you as well. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I agree, heavy lefty. I agree. Yeah. So I want to say thank you to my sister, Lisa Queen Bell's in the building. I want to say thank you to Kenny Ken. Where they can find you, Kenny Ken? Where can they find you?
They can find me both on Twitter and Instagram as at Kenny Ken 1972. Boxing's for Twitter, football, especially Arsenal, is for Instagram. Although I do put a bit of boxing in there. I do humour. I just have a bit of humour anyway. I have a bit of fun because people take things way too seriously sometimes in life. Everyone wants to cancel someone. Someone's worked hard for their career. They make one tiny mistake, cancel them, ban them.
Wouldn't you cancel someone like this, Kenny? Like this?
Ooh, yeah. She tied you to a kitchen chair. She broke a foam and she cut your hair. I'm from. It's not.
That's exactly
was
the
fun.
sort of fun you've got to be having. You know, I don't know what it's like in the United States, Lisa and AJ, but cancel culture is basically like
worst.
the
It's the
disease
worst.
of
needs to
British
be
right at the
cancelled.
moment.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to none of that
cancel
stuff.
culture
Yeah.
in the US, there's massive cancel culture in the US as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
massive.
Hey, we can get
Yeah, I don't
cancelled.
pay attention to
We can
that.
get
Yeah.
cancelled, you know.
Yeah,
Huh.
everyone's cancelable until they're not cancelled.
Yeah.
It's a temporary
Yeah.
cancelled. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're cancelled
It
till
depends
next
whether
week."
or not you're making the corporation a lot of money. So
Yeah, I don't pay attention to that worldly trend and stuff. I just don't.
Yeah, you correct. But I want to thank AJ all day in the building as well, and give my panel a round.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining me on Combox with Shan. You guys are been amazing. I'll let you bow out while I say bye to the chat.
CHANN, one last thing.
Thank you very much.
See you, LadyChann.
All right,
Thanks, weekend.
Bye.
Salute.
See ya.
Speak to you later, right? Yeah.
All right. See you later, sis.
See you later, sis. Thank you for joining me, sis. Speak to you later.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, CHANN,
You're
one
welcome.
last thing. One last thing. Bye, sis. Bye, Lisa. Talk to you later.
Yeah. Bye. Talk to you later, AJ.
Bye,
All day
AJ.
coming through. Love you guys. Mwah, mwah. Thank you very much for coming
Thank you.
And thank you. That was awful. That was so bad. That just cracks me up. Hopefully, till next time. Swar boxing in the building. Stephen T in the building. Thank you for coming through. Kelvin in the building. Stephen T, thank you for joining and becoming a member. Will Lynch was in the building. Sports Heaven, you was here in the building. Heavy Lefty was in the building. Who else did we have? Oh yeah, we had Electro Dead. Thank you for coming through in the building. Mate said 71 in the building. Hap. Thank you, Hap for coming. Hap for coming through. You was in the building. We had Silvestri, Freddie 47, Ben Adams in the building. Sweep the Leg podcast. You was in the building. Oh yeah, we also had G-Style Boxing in the building. D-Style Boxing in the building. JC1, Mr. Bison was in the building. Thank you for everybody that subscribed. Jacque, there you are. Sorry, I didn't see you, Jacque. You was in the building. I didn't see you, Jacque. My bad. Josh was in the building. Thank you very much. And you know how we do. Let me give you all a round of applause because I appreciate you. And I want you to go on to have a great Sunday. For me, it is now 11:41 p.m. in the UK. So, yeah. So, thank you guys for joining me. And as I sign off, you know how we do. Anyway, I'm gone. Hey there, it's LadyChann rep nonetheless. Shouts out to Devin Haney, lightweight, undisputed champion of the world. First in the 4-belt era. In the building. Gyan! LadyChann has left the building. Gyan! LadyChann!
Fight!